Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hollis, Town of Hollis Select Board meeting for Wednesday, April 1st, 2026. We are going to do a call to order first, and then we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Starting from my left, we could do a roll call.
Dick Moran.
Rod J. Hicks.
Mary Hoffman.
Mike Harnois.
Jack Regala.
Danny Rumian.
And please, everybody, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Long may she wait.
Thank you, everybody. All right. So, as usual, we're going to start with public comment for items that are not currently on the agenda. So, I'd like to start with the online folks first, or the Zoom folks first. Any comment for things that are not on the agenda? Raise your hand, please. Okey-doke. People in the room, any comment for things that are not on the agenda, items that are not on the agenda? Please.
My name's Bill. We are doing the solar site off of Old Limerick Road, and I'm here to talk about the permitting fees.
Okay.
Do you want me to go right into it now?
I think, how much time do you think you're going to need?
5 minutes.
I think that's appropriate. Let's go for it.
Okay. So basically, the reason why I'm here tonight is we are doing 8 sites, all almost identical over the state of Maine. And what we're running into is from town to town, the permitting fees are tremendously different, and you guys won on the highest. I do have a breakdown of the different towns that I can give you guys if you would like to see it.
That'd be great.
So the first one on this page
Thank you.
is a previous site that you guys did in Hollis. Thank you. You're welcome. Sorry, I didn't think I was going to be starting this tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
So basically, the site that you guys previously did was 334,000 square feet of solar panel coverage. The site that we are doing is 71,000 square feet. If you continue to look down the different towns, we have a range from $0 for the permit fee, which was in Winterport, Maine. And then the other ranges are between 4 and 15 cents. You guys came in at 50 cents a square foot of the panel coverage. If you look down lower, I have from the state of Maine regulations, application fees. Any application fee charged by a municipality for any application for any land use permit issued by the municipality, excuse me, may not exceed the reasonable cost of processing, review, regulations, supervision of the application by the municipality and its consultants. So basically what I'm asking is kind of a breakdown of how much time you guys feel like you're gonna have into the site and quantifying it that way versus 50 cents a square foot.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any, I don't know how this works.
We'll open it up for any questions, but obviously we won't be able to make any decisions.
No, of course.
Tonight, you know that.
Yeah.
So in essence, we'll absolutely take this and we'll talk to the town manager and talk to everybody that needs to be talked to.
We spoke earlier today, and I asked him to come in and share his thoughts and to talk to you folks. Fees and charges are a product of the select board's decisions.
I have already, the town of Standish was the second highest. They were at $21,000 for the fee. In a quick conversation yesterday, I already got them down to $7,400, and I plan on going and having a meeting with them as well. And I plan to do the same thing in South Paris as well. Just tonight's my first night, that's why I'm nervous.
Don't worry about it, you're doing great.
So I just have a question. Was the Augusta one already done, or?
Nope, Augusta is, I'm going to Augusta as
Oh,
well.
okay. 'Cause
Yep.
you didn't mention Augusta, so I just thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again, I was nervous.
Okay.
Also, on this, while you're doing this project, you've also considered the decommissioning bond that you need also.
Yes, that's already, before anything's approved, that has to be in place. Yep.
Any other questions from the board? I think we have what we need, and I appreciate you doing it now. You would have had to wait probably 2.5 hours or 3 before the second public comment, so it's good that you did it right now.
Oh, good.
So that's why we do it, public comment for items, not the agenda in the beginning of the meeting, so.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, we'll be in touch, talk to you about that, okay?
Great, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. All right. Oh, sure.
I have a question. Did any of the other solar farms that came in front of the town of Hollis get any discounts, or did they just pay the rate that we had set? Does anybody know? You guys are the finance people. Not off the top of your head. All right. I was just wondering. It was curiosity more than anything. Because we have Poland Spring is gigantic.
Well, I don't think we have a huge amount of solar farms that we've had, right?
Right, the
Doing-
ones- no,
There's been
the ones
Poland
I
Springs
know
and the
of,
one over on
Amanda
Amanda
Way,
Way.
Frank and Ken Stones. And then
And that
the
was
one-
what, 4 years ago? So it was,
Yeah, 2023, I think I
Yeah.
looked at that one. But Poland Spring, I heard that they came up with, I want to say 300-something thousand roughly, if I remember correctly, but I think they came and met with a select board when David was here and got it down to a lower amount. What that was, I don't know.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, so it's not an unusual thing for an applicant to come and get a permit from the town and have a list of those fees ahead of time, and then come afterwards and try to renegotiate the permit fee? Is that something that, like I said, I've come from the planning board side, so we don't see the money part of it. So I'm just unfamiliar with that aspect.
Right, so currently the fee that's in the policy 10 is 50 cents.
50 cents on the dollar, right. And like I said, I was unaware if other applicants for other businesses had come to the select board or come to, I guess not the planning board.
Well, we
just-
haven't had that many solar farms, I don't think, come
But,
before.
and I'm just saying, like, in general, is it just solar farms that would come to the select board and say, hey, can you cut us a
I
deal?
think that's the only ones we've ever had come
And
before
then-
the board. Yep.
Okay, and all the other businesses that operate in the town of Hollis that have a list of all the prices and fee structures ahead of time
Right.
before they submit their application, just pay what they're required to pay because they know ahead of time how much it will cost.
Right.
Okay, all right, so like I said, I was just unfamiliar with the actual process, so I just wanted to
Yep.
make sure I understood it right. So, thank you, guys.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Tommy. Any other comment for public comment? All right, let's get into the actual meeting. Couple things I want to do really quick before we get into the public hearing to review the request for the Hollis Freewheelers ATV Club seeking select board endorsement for ATV access on Plains Road. I wanted to just educate the public as to what we're going to be speaking about visually. And I want you, maybe Adam, if you want to come up and correct me if I'm wrong on any of the entry and exit points. Does that work for you?
I'm going to go over it during my speech, too.
Okay, then you don't have to do that. I'm just going to share my screen really quick, and just outside of public comment, just to make sure everyone sees it.
I only have one question.
Sure.
From the last meeting I asked, and you said there was a letter of approval from DOT.
Let me correct that. My understanding was they were waiting for our letter to finish the approval. That was actually our letter to submit the approval, for approval. So it was my misunderstanding from the get-go.
Well, that's why I was asking for somebody from DOT to attend the meeting tonight.
Yeah, that was a second point of clarification, that the approval is not, just to state for the record, there is no approval for this through the DOT. The DOT has not approved. They have an application
Correct.
from the freewheelers. It is
Correct.
not accompanied by the necessary endorsement of the select board at this moment in time. And Roger, you're probably right. I think we had more sight. We should have had the DOT.
Yeah,
folks here.
because it's their road.
Yeah.
It's a state aid road, so they technically are the legal guardian of the road, more or less. We don't really have say over state roads.
Yeah. We do have purview over this particular piece of whether we endorse it, though, right? So we do have purview over this,
We
and we
do.
can endorse
Yep.
it or not, so. All right, so just to make sure the public sees this, so this is the fire station right here, and this is the proposed route, and I'll just zoom out a little bit here. So we're going down Plains Road here. Okay, we're going past Shy Beaver. I want to kind of come back to Shy Beaver in a second in Google Street Maps so we can see that. We are coming down to almost California Fields, and then we are coming back right here onto the trail. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's good.
Great. Did you want to say anything?
No, I might as well get up here.
Okay, great. So the one thing I wanted to do was just kind of point out a couple things that I noticed. I'm not a rider, okay, and so I'm learning as I go, and I've been doing a lot of kind of research to make sure that I'm informed on this issue before anything happens here. So what I wanted to do, and this is for the public too, maybe that are not using the trail systems, I wanted to show them kind of what we're talking about here. So this is Google Street View of Plains Road. Right here is this is.
Are we actually starting the hearing?
No.
No, he's just showing us before we start.
This is before the hearing, because I don't think this is the public hearing. So over here, this is the I'd say like 3-foot shoulder. Have you measured it at all?
No.
So this is the shoulder that is existing here. So we'll just kind of go down the road a little bit. This is the route. So we have a house here kind of going down. And what I wanted to kind of just kind of call to attention, and might be something that we kind of chat about a little bit more, is this section right here when we get to Shy Beaver. Let me go back. This is Shy Beaver, right, in Blueberry, I think. And what I've noticed is that the shoulder just kind of goes away, right? So it turns from a 3-foot shoulder to basically a no-foot shoulder for the remainder of the route. Do I have all that correct so far?
Yep.
Anything I've stated that's like not accurate or anything like that?
No, you're just
Okay.
describing the road.
Okay, great. But that's all I wanted to just make sure that the public understood what we're talking about visually before we move into the public hearing. So with that said, the chair would entertain a motion to enter into a public hearing to review and request from the Hollis Freewheelers ATV Club seeking select board endorsement for ATV access on Plains Road, connecting the trailheads at California Fields and next to the Hollis Fire Station.
So moved.
This guy is second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are in public hearing. What I'd like to do also is request that we try to keep it, it sounds like we're going to have no problem. We don't have that many people here, but I'd like to try to keep it below like a 3-minute, 4-minute threshold, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to cut you off or anybody cut anybody off, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
try to
I'll
keep
move it
them-
along.
We have a packed schedule, so.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, would you like to start?
Yeah, so my name's Adam Roy. I'm a Hollis resident, and I am the trail master for the ATV club here in Hollis. So yes, we are talking about Plains Road and having it for ATV road access. Do we have the PowerPoint presentation that I had up last year, the last meeting, Bennett? To just help with the presentation.
Yep, yep.
That's the clicker.
That's the pennies. And the pennies. Okay. No, but you're times it by 50.
All right, so do we need this? Where is this going to be located? What are the safety and state requirements? We're going to go over an active ATV route, and we're going to finish with a conclusion. So why do we need it? In 2018, one of the landowners we had access with bought some horses. So she said that she didn't want us using her land anymore, which is fine. And in 2021, the Poland Springs did some logging out in the woods. So that was kind of our final cutoff to use road access. And then people were using the High Street access around Johnson's garage, and we're just like, nope, we don't feel it's safe, and we're going to shut down that access route. Plain Road lies between the S-turn trail, the small pole line, and the California Field Trail. Without that, the existing trail system does not form a continuous loop. Riders must turn around instead of circulating, and that limits safe and controlled trail flow. And I'm going to repeat this a couple times, that ATVs are already using this access route, or this road, not an access route, official one yet. And why do we need this access route? And why can't we just build another trail? So we've tried for the last 3+ years, we've been speaking with landowners and trying to use the Durgan Road and other certain means. We've got a few approvals from some of the landowners saying, yeah, you can use it, but there's some land in between their property and the small pole line, and we just couldn't connect it. So we tried, we've done our due diligence, we just couldn't find anything off the road to use to connect the Plains Road to California, or connect the trailhead from the fire department to the California trails. Where do we want it? So Mike talked about this earlier. We have the trailhead that starts at the Hollis Fire Station, and then the trailhead around 555 Plains Road for approximate distance of 4,000 feet. The safety and state requirements for road access, per DOT, they prefer straight and flat. But if it's not, they have site distance requirements. So for 35 miles an hour, they require 305 feet. For 45 miles an hour, they require 425 feet. And if you're at the trailhead at the fire station and you're looking towards west on Plains, you have 3,000 feet. If you're on the California trailhead looking towards High Street, you have 2,000 feet. The speed limit on Plains Road is 35 miles an hour from High Street to Shy Beaver Road, and 45 miles an hour from Shy Beaver Road towards the fire station. So after reviewing the state requirements, we go, okay, what's the next step we do?
So I don't mean to interject, but this is the same presentation you made on the 2 meetings ago, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay, so you're just reiterating the information. I want to get the public's full input here. So
Yeah.
can we, I mean, do you feel like the public record, that it's already been stated?
Right, but the reason I'm here again today is because we wanted maybe people that weren't here last time, we wanted more transparency, so people on Plains Road or other people didn't know about us because it wasn't on the agenda.
Okay,
I want to make sure I hit every topic.
all right.
All right, so like 2 years ago, we reached out to, it was Roger, Mary, and Jack. We went over some road access, Deer Hill, and Soccer Road. And since they were town roads, we went to vote. Wasn't a state road, so we figured the best way to do this is because the town vote on it. And so that's how we went. But with this instance, it's a state road. And the instructions were to just deal with the state for this. I didn't need town approval at that point. So I reached out to Brett LeBlanc, State of Maine Recreational Trails Coordinator. He looked at the access route. He's been involved with over hundreds of miles of ATV road access. And he says, yeah, everything looks great. So I called Dick. I said, hey, Dick, this is our proposal. He's like, yeah, let me talk to a few guys. Oh, no, excuse me, let me back up. So after talking with Brett, I did the application for the state. State came back, everything looks good. We just need town approval. So I reached out to Dick, and he says, give me a few days. I'll talk to some people. He talked to Chris Young, Hollis Fire Chief, and he was on board with it. He talked to Rob Hansen. He was on board with it. He says, Adam, everything looks good. Why don't you come to the next town select board meeting? We'll vote on it. We'll see how it goes. I said, perfect. Again, I want to talk about that the vehicles, wrecked vehicles are already using Plains Road. We can't police it, but at least we can control it and be proactive to help prevent an accident and not cause it. So Plains Road, let's look at Deer Wonder real quick. It's been open for 2 years. It's hilly. It's got 4 bends, shorter sight distance. You got 3 intersecting roads. It's 6,200 feet. Speed limit of 35 miles an hour. We've had 0 complaints and 0 accidents. And it's been proven to slow ATVs down. The reason I know that is because I travel that road a lot. I live a street down it. And since I'm restricted with time here, or tight on time, I have 4 residents here that have all approved it. They like it. They agree with it, how it's gone, it's slowed traffic down. So there's some testimonials on Deer Wanderer. Plains Road is flat, exceeds sight distance requirements by 600%. It only has 2 intersecting roads, a total distance of 4,000 feet. So when I presented this 2 meetings ago, it was left off the agenda, and that's why I'm here again today. So more transparency with the residents on Plains Road. So to be as transparent as possible, me and another club member went out on March 10th. We went to 15 houses. 4 people weren't home. Out of the 11 homes that we went to, there's a list of them all. They all loved the idea. They all said the same thing. They said it's a great idea. Some of them even thought it was already open for road access because the amount of traffic that is already on it. And they already said, hey, this is probably going to be a great thing because it is going to slow traffic down.
Sorry, who are these? Where are they? Where the residents?
Do you want me to name them?
No, not who they are. I'm not. No, what street did you say?
Plains Road.
Oh, Plains Road. You went to Plains Road residents and they said it's a great idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody.
On the route.
On that route.
Within the route that you're proposing, they said great idea.
Yeah, I have addresses for all of them. Yep. And I think there's only 20, 21 total houses on that stretch. And we went to 15 of them, 11 are all good. So the majority, we're good with it. All right, with all that being said, have we tried alternate routes? Yes. Does the club and community need it? Yes. Does it meet the state requirements? Yes. Does the majority of the community and landowners inside the route on Plains Road want it? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Have we done we have done our homework and due diligence. We've checked all the required boxes. We followed all the correct procedures per the state application. So, with transparency in mind, when you guys vote tonight, either yay or nay, could you please let us know why you decided that way?
So I want to just
Thank you.
ask you again, so you said there were 21 total houses on that stretch?
Yeah,
And you went to 15, of which 4 were not home?
Correct.
So you actually talked to 11?
yep.
So you talked about half of the people on the road?
Yeah,
was
and-
affected?
And these were actually all the closest ones to the road, within probably 50, 60 feet. I'll go quick. Tammy Hebert,
We
427.
don't want names, please.
It's
Thank
not
you.
necessary. Now, last time you were saying this, you're saying that this connects the trailheads together. This is a full connection. This, if this was approved, those 2 trails would be fully connected, fully approved trail. There's nothing else that needs to be approved for it to connect to the other trailhead, correct?
Yes, this road access would connect those 2 trailheads, creating a continuous loop.
It
for this.
connects, but a continuous loop that you want to make. There's nothing else that would, the continuous loop, basically, people do not have to turn around anymore
Right.
if this happens. There's nothing else that needs to be approved.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then a little thing about state grants is they really only approve trails that are looping. They don't really care about dead end. So if this trail work needs new bridges or, if trees fall down and whatnot, they give us funds for that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else? Anything else from the board? Sorry. Questions?
Not right now.
All right. Anyone else to come up for public comment? please.
Good evening. My name is Lori Sweeney. I live on 471 Plains Road, and my husband couldn't be here tonight, so I'm representing our property. We were not one of the groups that were visited, but we also sit back a little bit from Plains Road. And we've been there 26 years. We've got a lot of activity because the pole line is right behind our home, so we've got a lot of ATV activity back there already, which we knew moving in. We've been there for 26 years, and the noise and all of that came with it. We were fine with that. Our concern as homeowners who also, enjoy ATV and dirt bike riding and all of that, is that now we're gonna have all of that traffic behind us and also in front of our home. As mentioned, it's already a really busy road, and because it is very flat, we sit right at the speed limit change from 45 to 35 miles per hour, and there is constant speeding. And I'm concerned for safety in that area because of additional congestion. People like to walk on those roads and access those roads all the time. So that is a little bit concerning. And then also, we have a small farm, also have horses, and I do get a little concerned about the noise there. And I'm also curious about, will this be activity that's asked to be on the shoulder of the road? Will they be riding on the road itself? Because that will also bring with it dust and environmental challenges that are concerning. We witness this because we drive down to Waterboro frequently on the Townhouse Road, where there is an ATV trail right in front of different properties. The group, I believe, or homeowners have tried to put out mulch and do other things to try to reduce the amount of dust that's created. And I think anybody that lives in Hollis, during peak times where people are enjoying the trails and the trails are open, it's very busy there, and if you're driving through that section and people are on the path there, it's really challenging to even drive through with your windows open. There's so much of that dust. So I do get concerned as a homeowner about property and some of the things that come with that. So I just wanted to share. I'm not in favor of opening that stretch up. I do appreciate what was shared about having access to the trails and all of that, but we're in a rural area and we've got a lot of homes really close to that road also, so thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Does the ATV trail currently get down the old pole line?
Small pole line?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons we're doing this, is that's a dead-end trail, and we're hoping that if it's a continuous loop, it's gonna lessen the traffic behind your house, because they're gonna more wanna be not going down a dead-end road, they're gonna be wanting to go use the road to get to California Trails and make that loop. But if this does get approved, well, if you guys do give the letter of support, it's gonna go to the DOT to do the official, they're gonna probably do a traffic study and whatever else they have to do. If there's no shoulder, they're gonna be on the road. They're not gonna be on the shoulder creating dust. They're gonna be strictly on the tarmac.
You're required to be on pavement for access.
Pardon?
All access routes, you are required to be on the pavement. You're not allowed to be on the shoulder on approved access routes. That's part of having the signs to show you're allowed to be there. But that's a big part of it. That's why you have to get the approval.
Yeah, looking at the road, there doesn't seem to be, there's mailboxes on this, in essence, you wouldn't want to be on the dirt part of it.
Yeah,
You
you can't either, and they do that so there is no damage to the shoulders to cause further damage to the roadways themselves. They want us on the pavement and also at a lower speed, which helps with the traffic like she's talking to. And this would also, as he was saying, circumvent some of the traffic on the pole line behind, because there's not as much reason for people to be on the pole line, because now we're out on this side of it instead.
Maybe you can answer this question for me, and again, this is coming from just not experiencing this side of stuff. In front of the sports complex, for example, there's a designated trail there, right? Why is that not possible where you're proposing this? Why do we have to use Plains Road? And how did that come to be? Or not even in front of the sports complex, the other other side of it before there's other trails, like she was talking about in Waterboro.
So in Waterboro, those are all private homeowners, and it's actually the club that puts the bark chippings down. The club actually puts those down to try and lessen the dust. I know exactly what you're talking about. They do their best to try and stay ahead of that. That's something we're trying to circumvent. Going in front of the, excuse me, not so much the sports complex, but the other side of the road there, we have permission from those landowners because they own that property, and we've got permission from them, and we actually have permission, one more landowner further up to try and extend that trail a little further, just a little bit more. That's all landowners that have given us permission to be there. And the same thing in Waterboro, it's all landowners that have given that club permission to have the trail there. We do everything we can to mitigate, the dust issues with speed limit signs and all that stuff, all that amount. As far as safety issues go, I mean, I said it last time I was here too, but there's thousands of miles of road access on the East Coast trail system for down east, and there's no accidents. I mean, you can go from the rail bed in Machias all the way down to the coast and go to all the restaurants, all road access. If there was accidents, you'd hear on the news. They don't have accidents because they have these designated routes. People follow the routes, they follow the speeds. I've been up there a few times, and people wave to you when you drive by. It's the weirdest feeling in the world, because up here, usually people are like, what's that guy doing on the road? Because they're not used to it. Up there, they're used to it. You drive by, and people stand up and go, hey, and they wave to you as you drive by, and you're like, hi? First you're waiting for someone to do something, not wave at you, but it's once people understand it, it really is regulated, and people know they can be there. And like he was saying, on the other road we've had for 2 years now, and Waterboro's had for more than 2 years now, once people know they're allowed to be there, they slow down, they calm down, and they behave. Because they're not rushing to get from trailhead to trailhead before the police show up or the game warden shows up. They know they're allowed, so they go quietly, as quiet as you can, obviously. And we're still way quieter than any of the Harleys or the big trucks or all that type of stuff that are way louder than most of the wheelers. I'm not going to say there isn't some louder wheelers, but nowadays most of the new ones, they're $30,000, $40,000. They're not loud pieces of junk anymore. It's not the old two-strokes that just crank up and down the road. It's not that type of thing anymore. It's mostly families that are looking for this. We've gotten multiple questions every year. When are we getting the Poland Spring Loop open? When are we getting the Poland Spring Loop open? It's always older people, full families. They're out in their four-seater side-by-sides. They just love that loop going through Poland Spring, and they want to know when we're getting it open. And we've tried repeatedly, like he was saying, with multiple different landowners. We've had multiple things set up, and it's always like one little piece that we just can't get that little piece to make the connection. It's not that we haven't tried, because we have tried.
Those stories that you tell, they stick with me too. When I think about all the landowners that have, in essence, kind of denied you guys from using their land, there was a reason. And what was that reason? I'm thinking of the residents of Plains Road now. What was the reason they denied that? I heard one was like scaring horses.
No, well, the scaring horses, that's one that, it was an access route when I started with the club over 20 years ago. And I was kind of amazed that it was an access route coming through there, because it went right down the side of the people's second driveway, and then went out back down this little trail to the pole line. And I didn't understand how we had it, because it was literally on their driveway. And from the time I started, we started working with them to kind of make it so it's off the edge of the driveway, and they were happy the whole time. But as with anything, you get that one person that, every once in a while you get someone that goes through and they decide to take the driveway instead of the trail. 99%
Or go through the
took
lawn
trail.
instead of the trail.
Yeah, well, and thankfully the lawn was on the other side, so they wouldn't. But it's more just like they'd see the road and they take the road. We managed to get it so everybody was taking the side. We had a little fence thing we put up, so everybody was being good. It was just that once in a while you get that one person that, instead of waiting till they got by where the horse pen got started to go, they would just rev it a little bit before that. We happened to be there one day when it happened. I was talking with the landowner. He was really happy. He goes, oh, he was that guy when it happened. I said, you know what? I said, I think we're done. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're done making you guys deal with this. This is our highest maintenance issue we have, this section. I'm like, we can't keep putting you through this and us having to keep coming back and dealing with it. It doesn't put a good face on the club. So we said, you know what, we're just gonna close this section. We're just not gonna have it anymore because we don't want to have you guys having this problem anymore. He's like, well, you don't have to. I'm like, well, then we're just gonna be back here next week or next month. He said, okay, that's fine. And that's when we closed that section. And I have approached them since they got rid of the horses. And I talked to her a little bit, and she's like, well, I'm not sure if I want to do it. And honestly, I don't want to do it because it now dumps us where there is no trailhead. Because on the other side of the road, we don't have that trailhead anymore because that trail's been closed for too long. So it would just dump us on the Plains Road, and now they've got to make another turn and go up the road. It was just, we've avoided that because we don't see it as a good fit on that one landowner. The other one, we had the whole thing approved. We had talked, it was a common land off of Durgan. We had talked to two of the landowners. They assured us they had been talking to the other landowner. And when I finally went in with funding, everything set up, I went in just to make sure we double checked with everybody. I finally was able to get a hold of that third landowner. I sat down, I talked with him, and he's a Vietnam vet. And he was just not sure. Honestly, where the trail was that we were crossing was further than where the pole line was. And he just wasn't sure. I said, well, if you're not sure, we're not going to push you. I could have kept trying to work and do. I said, we're not going to push you for that. And literally, it went across the back, very small corner. And I just didn't. We're not in the business of pushing people. We want people to be happy with the decisions, and we left it alone. And we pulled back, and tried another year and a half, 2 years to try and find another different route. And it's just tough because everybody's houses are established, everybody's gardens are established. It's just hard to find a spot.
Okay.
It's just hard.
Okay, thank you. And then I have a comment that we had an online form submittal from a Denise Jones. They live on High Street. She said, regarding the recent meeting which discussed ATV access to Plains Road, the gentleman who mentioned Greenville, Maine, not having a problem, but did not mention that Greenville has a police department. Also, Poland Spring trucks do not drive down Deerwander Road unless they're off-route. So I don't think there is a fair comparison between Plains Road and Deerwander Road. As a resident of High Street, I see cars and trucks as well as commercial vehicles speeding by down the hill. To have ATVs on this stretch without enforcement of the current speed limits is foolish. And by the way, there was an incident where a young man who lives on Plains Road breaking his collarbone on the nearby pole line trail. He and his friends often drove by at night, and we can hear them even if they are on the pole line. Noise will be an issue, and again, who is going to enforce the speed limits? Thank you for your time, and I hope my concerns are addressed at the upcoming April 1st Select Board meeting.
Any other public comment?
Well, I'm going to throw my 2 cents in.
Please.
I went over this last time, what happened up in Deerwander Road, having that ATV folks getting that trail in there took away a lot of the road runners that I used to have in front of my place. And they've been very good about policing, because most of the problems you have is with the dirt bikes. And they're going to try to work with this too, if I understand this right. So I think you have somebody to turn to in the event of something occurs. I think some of your questions were answered that you were concerned about, more or less. So I know when we first started this way back when over here, Saco and Deerwander, it was opposed. I mean, a lot of people were thinking, well, this is going to create this is going to create that. But it turned out in a positive manner. All I'm going to say is, on my point of view, is saying, how do you know it's not going to work if you don't try it? If you only give it a short-term, 6-month trial, whatever, then you go back to the board on this. That's my thought on it.
Thanks, Jack.
And then the other part of this is we can give permission now, and then later on, if it doesn't work, you can always rescind our support.
That's what I'm saying.
But I know I live on Deerwander Road on the hill, and there's only 2 that violate. I know who they are, too.
Well, 2 is better than 20.
Well, for the most part, the four-wheelers themselves are going slow. They're doing less than the speed limit, and they've abided by what we asked them to do.
To this point, and there's been no accidents and there's been no complaints. So, like I'm saying, to give something a try in 6 months or whatever, and then go back to the drawing board if God forbid we have issues or problems.
And we could have something in place to say, this is what would make us pull it back, maybe some
Exactly, that's
sort
what
of,
Roger's talking about,
something.
the trial period.
I'm sure once DOT completes their application, they're going to put restrictions on. And plus, if he's using the person that is the rep from the trails, I believe, the trail director for York County,
I can see if it's.
you're working with the trail director from York County also, correct? From the Warden Service? Is that the one?
No, I just have to go with the two state guys. One's what is he, the
Yeah,
ATV, State of Maine Recreational Trails Coordinator and his
right.
supervisor.
That's the coordinator for this area.
Correct. Yep.
That's what I was referring to.
Yep.
So they're going to set the standards also.
Yeah, and one more thing about signage is when if the DOT approves it, they'll be putting signage everywhere. It's not just gonna be, okay, it's ready to go. That's on them, and then the club pays for it.
Correct.
Dan?
Yeah, I just, I was kind of doing some research on this thing. And I pulled up on the State of Maine ATV program website. Anyone can look at it. It has guidelines for the establishment of ATV access routes. And that's where I think Adam got the trailhead geometric site distance figures from that. That's number 6. If you go up to number 4, where this is talking about the following criteria shall be considered before issuing or denying the access request. Posted speed. ATVs do not travel well on pavement at high speeds. Speed differential should be taken into account when deciding whether ATVs will be allowed to run in the traveled way. Not to be allowed for speeds 45 miles an hour or greater. So that's Plains Road, unless the AADT, which is ATV access route thing, I think means, is less than 1,000 feet. So it's not less than 1,000 feet.
Could you restate what you just said there? I just want to make sure that I and everyone else understands what you just said.
It says not to be allowed for speeds 45 miles an hour or greater,
In Plains Road,
unless it is less than 1,000 feet long.
in Plains Road is 45 and it turns into a 35 towards. Right. Okay.
That was, I called up Matt Foster at the state ATV program about that. He was saying that he did get your application back in January. It didn't have that letter of support, so it did not move past his desk for their review or onto DOT's. He was saying that they only approve these if it's necessary to get somewhere, like to a restaurant or a gas station or a different town or something like that. And then I was comparing numbers about, comparing Deer Wander to Plains Road and Saco Road. And the DOT does traffic studies where you'll see they put the rubber things across the road. Deer Wander Road averaged 799 cars a day. Saco Road was 1,000 cars a day. And Plains Road was 2,398 cars a day. So, 3 times Deer Wander Road. About, how they already use it. I live there, maybe 1 or 2 already use it, but nothing compared to what, you'd see going past the trail on a normal day. Can patrol it. I'm in the snowmobile club, and if there's snowmobile issues, I call up a game warden, and I'm lucky to get them there in a day or 2. It's whack-a-mole for them. About the asked 11 people, yeah, I counted 22 homes there. And some of I went around, this is my neighborhood, so I went and talked to my neighbors to make sure they knew about this. Most of them did. Those must have been those 11 people. And then I thought it was odd. One person was led to incline that this would only be open to people in the ATV club. Not just like everyone in the public. And I'm hoping that not too many people got that impression in that swayed them to not come to this meeting and talk about it, because I think there's a big difference between the 30 or to 50 people or whatever in the club and, you know, what the trail system sees for traffic in a busy weekend. And then the necessity of needing it. Yeah, it makes a nice loop. I liked going on that loop back when we could. You know, I was with Mike that day that kid went through there and revved it up and swooped the horses, and I thought Mike was going to take the kid's head off. It was because he was already there that week dealing with it. He was babysitting that trail, which was ridiculous for him to have to do. So there's no doubt that there's a lot of dedication from this group. The one thing that I don't know if anyone has taken into account is to complete this loop, you got to go out on the Killick Pond Road, okay? And then you go up the side of Killick Pond Road until you get to the houses. And then you're on the pavement again in Killick Pond Road for, I believe, over the 500-yard rule. So if this opens up, is it just going to another dead end? Because Killick Pond Road is also a state aid road with I think, a high speed limit and a lot of traffic. That switched over from town road to a state road.
Yeah,
How long ago?
I don't know, but
2017, I believe it was.
So that's what I had to say about that.
Just because the speed limit on Plains Road is 45, doesn't mean that the state's gonna post it at 45. What they've done before in Waterboro is they posted at 35, even though that road is 45. But just because the road is that fast doesn't mean the DOT is gonna say the four-wheelers can go that fast.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying.
So when there's,
The four-wheelers don't go 45, or they go what? Isn't it like 15?
so what we did on Deer Wonder, we posted at 15 miles an hour. So just because it's ATV access doesn't mean they're gonna do what the street is posted at for a vehicle speed.
Okay.
They'll probably dumb it down to like maybe 30 or 35 to stay within that restriction.
Maybe under the ATV laws, there is a section in there of operating an ATV at a reasonable and prudent speed. And that's why they changed it on Deer Wonder Road. Because 15 is reasonable and prudent.
That is reasonable and prudent. It's
Yeah,
true.
I think that's a different thing. What I was reading is that they don't let it on roads with the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit.
That's incorrect.
Okay.
Is that, is that provable? I mean, when you say it's incorrect, I mean, I'm going to vote on it. I mean, I want to make sure is that incorrect? Where are you getting that information that's incorrect?
Well, you look up north and these roads are 45 to 55 and a lot of them have already been approved for road access.
but we're looking at the rules, right?
The rules are,
Right, Dan, that you're looking at?
Yeah.
So, you know, if,
I mean, these are the state rules, not our rules, but.
right,
you
right.
can't trump state
So-
law.
So the whole thing is whether or not we support it.
The
If DO, can I?
Yeah,
hold on a
sorry,
second? So we're looking at whether or not the town supports it. If we support it and then they file application, the state has the final say in this.
Correct.
So if they find that within their rules that it's not permitted, then they're not going to issue the permit.
They'll be dying.
Right, I agree.
So
Yeah, maybe it's
the
a moot
thing
point
is
to argue.
whether or not we support, whether or not we have in the past for other trails. But the kicker is this, it's a state road. If we approve it, that's one thing. But then if the state doesn't approve it, it's not going to happen. So we're just basically a stepping stone at this point.
So we're just in a position to say, do we support it?
Correct.
And the state is going to either approve it or deny it.
Correct.
But we're also in the position to say that we think it's a safety issue and we don't want to support it. So we still get a say in support or not support.
Adam, the piece that Dan was talking about, the Killick Pond Road, is that correct? About the trail not being
Yeah,
a
we
full
use it-
loop? Because we were just talking about that.
Yeah, we use it right now, and I believe it's within the 500 yards. I haven't measured it, but, I mean, we've used it for the last.
We've been in discussions with the game wardens on that section, and they have seen no issues with it because it's had never had a problem. We've discussed it with the game wardens here and there, and they've all said they don't have any issues with it because there hasn't been any issues on the road. It's right in that 500 range. I honestly never measured it because we've never had to deal with it because it's never been a problem. It's not that fast of a road, and it's not, like I said, we just never had an issue. We come off of one side, people go up, and it's always worked fine. And the game wardens the game wardens do come in the area, and it is whack-a-mole, but they come up and they'll do, what they call it, they come up and they do sessions on certain areas and trails just to check problems, look for problem areas. And we've discussed that with them, and they've never had an issue with that road. So it's been in place, I don't know, longer than I've been in the club, I'll say it that. So that's 20 plus years at this point.
Okay. So it's not officially a trail.
There's
It's not officially
Marked.
regulated
Right.
for ATV use. So if it's not regulated, then it's not correct. Am I wrong with that assumption? If it's
Well, for the
It
ma-
doesn't have signs on it, right?
Yeah, for the majority of the trail on Killick Pond Road, they're not even on the pavement. They're in the shoulder.
Yeah, we're on the shoulder for the majority of it.
The only time is where the houses start, is where the pavement comes into question down by,
After
leading
Hollis
down to where the other old trail was
Yeah, for-
disconnected by the house that had the horses.
okay.
So I
Yeah.
guess I'm confused because didn't you say at one point that you have to go on the pavement? You can't be on the shoulder?
No, I'm sorry, you're talking about Killick Pond Road now.
Right.
Yeah.
Killick Pond Road has a shoulder trail that is on private property on that,
Correct.
in the shoulders.
Okay.
It's on Poland Spring property on one end of it, and it's on June Hills property on the other end of it. And then we go off this road onto Rod and Gun Club property.
So my point that I wanted to make is where they come onto the pavement on Killick Pond Road, the speed limit drops to 40.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a
So
high-speed
you're below
section
the
there.
45
In
criteria.
that criteria there, yes. Yeah, and like I said, we have talked with the game wardens, and they said they weren't concerned about us doing anything about that road at this point, so. If there's any other-
Go for it.
Terry Walters, Hollis resident. I'm really not in favor or against this proposal, but while you're discussing ATVs and safety, I think it's legitimate to add in, we all ought to be, any ATV club ought to help us with this, is the traffic situation down by Noria. You get down there on a weekend, and they're going in there to get gasoline and everything. You've got a four-way stop there. It can be scary. And so I'm not opposed to the trail systems or anything else, but if, that's one of the access points to go to Noria, and it can get very congested in there. And I've seen some pretty close calls in there. So maybe as part of the plan, we address how we can make that a safer area as well.
Thanks, Terry. That's my question. What is the enforcement? What can we do to enforce anything here? It's really just,
Well, ATVs.
Please
fall-
be on your best behavior.
ATVs fall under the game wardens.
yeah. But it's with the walk.
Law enforcement can enforce the title also, but then again, it depends if they're in town or not.
I got a question, Adam. It's going to reflect upon what Terry said. Is there any other places on this trail route where they can get fuel, food, or whatever, other than like Noria? I'm not against, this ATV thing. I'm just saying, he's right. Sometimes it gets pretty sketchy in there because they're all going in there, and it isn't a very big parking lot to begin with. It should have been across the street where storage sheds is my thought on it anyway, but that's hindsight. So I guess my question is, with a club, can they indicate to take that burden off like that, this one spot, that there's other areas that they can, or bring your own lunch or whatever, but fuel, I know some carry a little extra fuel. I mean, they
Yeah.
can run a long ways.
That's like the main access from Waterboro, Hollis to Leamington. That's why that's so busy. It's the only really connector they have to get to Leamington. So, yeah, we don't have any other gas stations in town that we could connect to right now with the club.
All right.
Well, see that, sorry, the Saco Road access route, if we can finish that last piece of that, we'll take a lot of the weight off of that corner. Because people do get fuel out in Waterboro at Abbott's, and the only route is going by Noria to go to Leamington right now. And once we get the Saco Road access finished, that will bring them down the main pole line to the Saco Road access route, which will bring them to the small pole line, which will bring them around the back way through the Rod and Gun Club, through the sand lot that's on the end of Killick Pond Road, and they won't even go to the store. I'm not saying everybody won't go to the store, but it will cut down because it will make a different route once we get the Saco Road access open. That was the whole point of the Saco Road one, was to take some of the load off of that area. And then the other thing happened last year too, which made the traffic worse, was we lost Nathan Smith because of some construction at the end of that road on a house for a little while. And that's been worked through with the game wardens, and they've got that route back open for us this year. So that will pull some of the traffic off of the Nuria gas station area this year again. It just got really bad last year because there was one route in, one route out. We lost that Nathan Smith's route, and we don't have the Saco Road access in yet. But we're hoping Nathan Smith open, and once with Saco Road access, that will lessen up some of the load on that area right there. But we've been working towards that. That is something we know of and we're working on.
Okay.
And that's appreciated, but I was thinking more of, well, with the dam decommissioning, we're talking about making a recreation area down there. And one of the things we're going to have to work with DOT is for signage and crosswalks and things like that. And I think if we're going to have an attractive thing like Noria, and there's going to have a lot of traffic there, we probably need to work with DOT and get adequate signage, crosswalks, things like that to make that a safer area. Because it's not a safe area now. And that's nobody's fault. That's a fact. And we ought to correct it.
Yeah.
And I know DOT is something else to work with, but it's an issue, and it's something we should address.
Yeah, that should not be a four-way stop. Should be a traffic light there. Any other comment from the public or from the select board?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we have ended public hearing. We've reconvening the select board meeting. Do I have a motion on this, this proposal?
Just out there and make a motion that we show support for the ATV club to allow the access from 555 Plains Road to the fire station.
I second that one.
Okay.
Under stipulation, that
Well,
is under.
now we can discuss it.
Yeah, open for discussion. So
I'm getting
please.
excited here.
No, you need a motion to discuss it.
Yep. Oh, any discussion? Yes?
Oh, me?
Or Jack, either one.
Well, I'm going to show support because looking what we've done in the past, but Terry, what he said about the other intersection gave me an idea. That'll be for a later date. Even though, yes, it is 45, they're going to be regulating the speed of the ATVs going down the roadway. So I think they're going to operate at a reasonable and prudent speed. It's going to hopefully cut some of the traffic out behind on the old pole line and put them where they should be. It's going to continue that loop, which gives them that short distance that they've got to cover and get on the trail and go out and around through California fields and around through the woods there. But I'm just going to state that I'm going to show my support for it.
Okay, Jack?
I think I support it, but it will be under a trial period. And they have someone to reach out and work with from the ATV club in the event of. And if we do get issues, then we have to go back to the drawing board and present them and then maybe bring it back to the table.
Would we want to amend the motion to actually have something about the stipulation of a trial period?
Well, that would be, see, we're on a state road, so we're just showing yay or nay. But the true person who's going to actually enforce this is going to be Maine DOT. So even though we show support, they still got to finish the application. And then once they finish that, I believe they'll probably contact us, or I'd have the town manager stay in contact with them to show certain regulations that we would like to see.
We can ask for that in the letter.
And that's,
And do we have a pullback mechanism? If
well,
we
that's
feel it?
why I just said, have the town manager stay in touch with Maine DOT, write the letter of support stipulating those, that you have those questions.
Correct.
And then, like I said, they're gonna be the final permit issue on this. But we can mention those speed limit changes and doing the trial period.
Any other discussion?
I was just going to go and say that I disagree. Well, my concerns about the speed, it doesn't have to do with the speed of the ATVs going down the road. It's just the speed of the cars. And I just don't feel that, an ATV going a prudent speed and a car going, in a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, half the people are looking at their phone, going 50 over, smoking a cigarette at the same time with a nip in their bottle.
And eating lunch.
I just don't feel that it's a safe combination at this.
Dan, I don't think we should have people running on Plains Road, because that's what I saw the other night. They didn't even have a flashing light or anything. I can understand your point of view, but I'm just saying, and ATVs are going to have lights on them and et cetera, and I don't know how many are going to run during the night hours, et cetera.
That's what I would just quickly say, those stipulations, Roger. I think we should try to mirror just like Deer Wander. We got time, speed, the season, and then if you want to do right to the state, say, hey, we want a 6-month trial. Put that towards your letter of approval. Say, we'll support this with these restrictions for the town.
What is the enforcement mechanism for Deer Wander at this point? What's the enforcement mechanism for Deer Wander right now?
Basically, it's been the club.
The club's been doing it, and every once in a while, I've seen the game wardens on Deer Wander Road. The state police have been going up Deer Wander Road more often. So,
Well,
I mean, you've got roving patrols like anything else.
I'm not going to be in support of it because I'm really concerned about the safety, about the number of vehicles. There's a lot more vehicles on Plains Road. There's a lot more speed. There's a lot more trucks, so I'm not going to be in support of it.
So that's what changed your mind?
Pardon?
Because prior back, you weren't saying, a while back, you said it was fine, you would support it, now you don't.
I
don't know how
never
you-
said I was going to support it. I said I was going to
Okay, then I'm lying.
research it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess the only thing I got to say is let's move the question.
You want to talk about this a little bit more? No?
No, move the question.
I'll only say this one thing is, does anyone on this board think that we should potentially follow suit with what we did with Deerwander and Saco Road? And instead of us making this call, putting it to the voters?
We'll see.
I know. I think it's worth the conversation, though.
This whole thing rests with Maine DOT. It's their road. This is why I said before, I want a DOT here, because it's not our road. We don't have any authority. All they're doing is, will we support them if they apply for a permit?
So that's authority that gives us the authority. We can either support them if we say no, then the permit, the application doesn't move forward, right?
I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Well, that's what they told Dan when he called them, right, Dan?
Correct, yep.
Yeah, so,
They told me they won't even start their review until they have this letter.
So we could put it in the warrant, on a warrant article, and allow the public to, in essence, guide our approval of this. Or we could vote on it right now. And technically, yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want to call for a vote?
I've already called for the vote.
I know. Let's go.
That's the rules. Once you call for the vote, we're
You have to
supposed to vote.
Yep. All right, let's call for the vote. Let's vote. Roger, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mary, how do you vote?
no.
I vote no.
Yes.
No.
Moving on to the next. To give Adam what you were asking for, the transparency, to me, for me, it came down to safety. And the discrepancy between the cars and the 22,000, I believe, is what Dan said, 2,000 cars.
2,400.
2,400 cars. And how many on Deerwander?
800.
It's a huge difference, and a huge difference in speed. Right now, that's my transparency there. I'm hoping that was what you were looking for.
Yeah, and mine was not because I live there. It was, I would have voted this down if you asked for it on 202 or for Cape Road, either way, for that safety issue thing. I think if there was a wide enough shoulder for the ATV to completely be off it into the side off the road, so if there was cars passing, it wouldn't create a traffic issue, I would be all for it, which is the situation up in Greenville. They have 8-foot wide shoulders, and their ATV access route sign says that ATVs need to stay off the traveled way onto the breakdown lane, which they have there.
So the motion does not pass. We will move on to the minutes for March 4th and March 18th. So these are the minutes for March 4th at 6 p.m. in Hollis Meeting Room at 34 Town Farm Road. The attendees were myself, Mary, John, Jack, Daniel, Dan.
So I just have a technical question.
Oh, sure.
I don't think I was misquoted. I think my information was wrong on something that I said. So do I make a correction now, or do I just ask for clarification later? It was on the new municipal town office updates. And I said that the town received a contract for the new water system for $10,000 cost, and we will need to conduct additional PFAS testing. I think the $10,000 was from Ward Water. Because I didn't want to imply that we're going to get a filtration system for $10,000.
Are we talking about this water right now?
if you want to. I just wanted,
Well, I was on the phone this morning.
I just wanted to clarify the $10,000. Because I think that was with Ward Water for something they were doing, whether it was putting in something for us or. I didn't want people to think that we were going to be getting a filtration system for the water at $10,000. Because my understanding is going to be around, what, 60,000?
Well, if I get to this,
Okay.
I spoke with Matt, Ralph, and company, and the holdup on why we didn't get this design right now is because we got the drinking water program involved in this, and this whole thing without this backwashing. Our radon and PFAS is minute. That isn't a thing. It's this whole thing with this backwashing, okay? And they're trying to work this out, and this thing with this 1 to 3 year carbon filtering changes and et cetera and et cetera. So Matt was trying to tell me, waiting on, drinking water program, if they can get this, he's looking right now at $52,849, okay? Where I think Richard's looking to add this other on, what you don't really need it, and this is a whole, which would be another $18,000. So they're trying to pan this out.
Okay.
And hopefully, I mean, working with the state and et cetera, is just drama. It's just everybody's on first, second, and third. We just need somebody to come home, that's all. I don't know how better to say it, but I spent a long time on the phone with them, and that's where we stand right now, with the carbon.
But I just didn't want.
Aeration and mixed bed system and no backwashing. There's all these factors in this, so.
But I just didn't want anybody to think that the only charge we were going to have was $10,000. So thank you
no.
for clarifying that
We're looking
for
at
us.
52,849.
Thank you.
Should we put like a
Without the
redaction
radon.
about the minutes? Should we put a redaction at the bottom of the minutes? Is that
I think so, yeah.
an okay thing?
Yeah, basically, that's all we're doing is clarifying her statement.
Right.
Because I
In the
didn't,
minutes.
because I didn't want to be,
Mary, I have a question.
Sure.
So what is your redaction? What was the 10,000 for? Was it a grant from Ward Water, or was it just for their
I don't really
initial
know what it
fee?
was for. I'd have
Okay.
to look at it. Because I don't know what that statement's for.
Huh?
I don't know.
What?
The $10,000.
Well, we know we had that 60,000
Jack,
come back. but-
lean into your mic. When we had that meeting with the
Yes,
state,
I love this mic. I
There you
love
go.
this mic.
Okay.
we can get you one of those
Now
that
I-
wrap around.
Now I know
know.
what you're talking about, Dwayne. The $10,000 is for the engineer. He's writing a grant
Correct.
for
Right, he's doing the-
$50,000.
For the it was for PFAS. Now what happened with that? Remember that day?
Well, this is what we had the conversation today, so now this whole thing blew up when you couldn't do the backwash,
Okay.
okay? The PFAS and radon is very minute, okay? So they're trying to work this out with the drinking water program, excuse me.
Thank you.
Okay, you liked it better? Scared myself.
Sound
And
great.
hopefully, I'm hoping, I did last time, I thought it was gonna be all sitting in place by Tuesday, but that didn't happen. I come to find out that they're still trying to work this out. He's been waiting on 2 days to hear back from the
Okay.
drinking water program people. So hopefully, he's gonna reach out to him again. He's gonna reach out to Ralph and Augusta and see if, because Ralph had some questions and and Matt has some, I'm gonna get all these names mixed up, so
Yeah.
I'm just hoping.
The way I remember it at that meeting was, I think it was, they could get a grant for 50,000 for PFAS system, and the 10,000 would be for installation.
Installation, right,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it toes back that 60.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank you. I just didn't want anybody in town to think, wow, they got a bargain deal. I have arsenic in my water and I had to pay whatever for my filtration and.
So
Mary?
Matt's last word is he's just trying to save us some money by doing this, and it'll just, you're thinking 7,000
So
or
thank you.
something. So,
So we're going to hold off on approving the minutes from the 4th, is that it's the 4th? Okay, so we will hold off on that. But we have minutes from March 18th with myself, Mary, John, Jack, and Roger, and Dan in attendance. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from March 18th, 2026?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So the minutes we're good with there. Now we move on to Bar Mills decommissioning updates. I asked Dan if you have anything to update us on.
You got to do the March 18th minutes.
He did.
Oh, you
Oh,
combined them?
Did you not?
No, we needed to vote on them, I guess. Did we vote?
No,
Yeah, didn't we just vote?
No, we
no,
seconded.
you did March 4th because I wasn't there.
No, we're not accepting the minutes from March 4th. So we just did the 18th, which is the only minutes that we're
All
accepting
right,
tonight.
I missed that one.
Okay,
Sorry.
we're good. Moving on to the Bar Mills decommissioning updates.
You want me before the town budgets?
Sorry.
Sorry,
You don't want to do the town budgets? That's the next on the agenda.
do I have a, no, that's an old one, sorry, Dan. That's, so
sorry.
we're moving on to the minutes for, we're moving on to the Bar Mills, we're going to get it, right. Bar Mills decommissioning updates, and the budget is going to be part of the warrant, just for everybody's.
Sorry, working from old papers. So the town's side of the committee got together a couple times in the last 2 weeks and just kind of discussing future steps. But we're kind of up in the air because we still don't have Brookfield's final plan on what they're going to be doing out there. So we kind of have some ideas on what to be doing, but we're still waiting on them. You have anything else to add, Terry? I know you're on the, or Jim?
No, the committee's been very active, but I would say very frustrated. And as Dan said, we can't respond to Brookfield unless we have information, which they don't seem to want to provide. So we're waiting on them now until they file their decommissioning plan. And then I guess our option is to respond to that plan. But working with them proactively seems to have kind of come to a halt. So now we're in response mode, I guess.
So Terry, is that plan that we had down back here, is that still in, did they nix that plan too?
You know, Roger, we really don't know. They have said they will do several things. The plan out back is on hold. Rogers Fiber's on hold. They definitely do not want to address the power plant. So, but until they file their official draft, their official plan, we really don't have any concrete information.
Okay. Thank you.
While we're on the subject of water, on this form that you gave me, because this is with the Bar Mills decommissioning as a butter, right, with our well, I got 50% of it filled out. I'm waiting for a return call from Scott Temple, who installed that, so I should be able to fill in the rest of it, and I have to the 15th.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Yep, I guess an update for the, add to it. All homeowners got that letter, even if they filled out the first round that went out. Part of the decommissioning plan, the Brookfield was studying all the wells for landowners near the river, which may be affected, just to get some baseline data. They sent out a round of letters back in, I want to say, January maybe, and just another one went out in the last couple weeks. There was a little bit of confusion because some people who already sent theirs in got a letter again and didn't know if that means they didn't get the first one, but they did get the first one, I think. But if you really want to send it in again, send it in again because they sent it to you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, appreciate that. All right, we will move on to new business and the topic of the night, the warrant for June 9th. We're going to review the warrant for June 9th, 2026. It's also going to include a budget review for FY 26-27. So we're going to, again, review the warrant, including the budget for 26-27. For the annual town meeting, we're going to vote on budgets, board recommendations, We more than likely will not approve and sign tonight because we are missing some elements to, for example, the reimbursement, the revenue piece. And we most likely will reschedule, not reschedule, but schedule a meeting for 4/8 to actually approve and go through, actually approve the warrant. So it's really going to be more of a review of the budget as well as the warrant articles tonight. So going through the warrant articles, are we providing anybody out there with this, or I guess we didn't think of that? Follow along, huh? Should we suspend the meeting and get them a copy?
Sure.
Can I make a motion to suspend the meeting and get the participants of this here tonight a copy of the warrant? Oh, yeah, so moved. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. You can hear what I'm talking about? Okay. All right, the chair would entertain a motion to reconvene the select board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. So we are in good shape now. The public, we have the warrant here on the screen, and we have warrants in the hands of our spectators here today. We're going to review the warrant. I'm probably going to throw, we'll kind of, it's very, I want to point one thing out. This is very different than the warrant reading last year. Feels much nicer. So it's great to have this. A few things to understand is we are in a different form of government, as you all know now. So the town manager style of government, we are no longer the de facto town managers. So some of the things that are going to be talked about we might throw to the town manager to potentially explain or things like that. And some of those, that's going to be a little bit of a difference there between what has been before and what is now. So the warrant starts here with our normal greetings. I'll go to Article 1 is to elect a moderator, a written ballot to preside at said meeting. Article 2 is to elect the following municipal officials. 2, select,
Are we able to interject? Or
Sure,
I
sure.
just see an error already.
Okay.
I think, to act on Article
Can you
1
speak
by
in the mic?
Oh, yes, thank you. To act on Article 1 by secret ballot, and it's actually Article 1 and Article 2 by secret ballot.
Okay.
And then the rest, no, wait a minute.
Okay. well,
They're all by secret ballot, aren't they?
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right, never mind. I'm going to back up. I was thinking we just did those two on ballots and the rest.
Okay.
You got it. You got it. I know, but I'm not perfect. I'm not infallible. So that is written correctly.
You're
My
out of practice,
apologies.
Martha. You're out of practice. Jeez. All right. So Article 2 is to elect the following municipal officials. 2 select board members, assessors, and overseers of the poor for each for a 3-year term. So big difference between the last time we did a select board. There are not 3 separate seats. There's 2 seats, which we will be voting in a pick 2 type fashion. So you will pick 2 select board members that you want, 2 people that you want to be a select board member. So that's a little bit of a difference from last time where there was 3 different races, 1 for 1 year, 1 for 2 years, and 1 for 3 years. Any questions on that? You pick 2. Please.
Maybe I could be Becky Bowley, Timberlane.
Please speak into the mic.
Becky Bowley, Timberlane.
You can bring it down. You don't have to, yeah.
So won't it be popular vote? Won't it be the person who gets the most, the 2 that get the most vote will be the selectman?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
If that pick 2 doesn't, sorry.
But I could pick 2 and you could pick 2 different ones and everybody pick 2. So it's still popular vote. Whoever gets the most vote, candidate number 1 and candidate number 2 will be seated. Got it.
Yeah. It is not ranked choice. It's not.
It's a half step away.
You think so?
You're a very small step from rank choice, Mr. Harnos.
Hardnois.
I'm sorry, I have a piece of candy in my mouth, so I apologize if I sound mumbled. I did notice that there was a situation for the town of Limerick, I believe. Someone was, I guess, criticized for saying, vote for 2, and they said specifically, you're not supposed to say vote for 2, but that's what it said on the ballot.
Oh.
You can actually vote for up to 2. You don't have to vote for none. You can vote for 1, or you can vote for 2. So I just want to make that.
Good clarification.
That's a good
Yeah.
clarification, and I meant to show that to Crystal, because I think that would be a very good point for when
Absolutely.
people give directions for this particular warrant, which is very different.
Awesome. That's a really great call out. I didn't even think about that.
But you've made that note, right, Bennett? Sure. Okay.
Thanks, Bennett. As always. The next one is much more straightforward. 1 town clerk for a 3-year term, and then 1 road commissioner for a 2-year term. Okay? Any questions on the municipal officials election before we move on to the budget? Okay. I'm just going to do a quick explainer as someone that just maybe educate the public that might be watching this for the first time. How does this work with the new town manager form of government? What does it look like, the budget process, if you will? So it looks like this, really high level. Nutshell, department heads come to Dick our town manager with a budget, a proposed budget. They discuss, they have conversations. Dick might push back and give some feedback about what they might want to reduce or increase or things like that. They work together. It's a partnership. So that is the first check, the first of many balances. After that budget is basically prepared, it is then presented to the Finance Committee, which has had how many sessions, how many meetings have you had? 7 meetings over the last 3 months or 2 months. And they hear from the department heads to recite their budget and then get approval from the Finance Committee. So everything that we're reviewing here was approved by the Finance Committee. And now we are here today as select board members to discuss each budget line item, discuss if you need to, and then also, again, we probably won't sign the warrant tonight just because of a few different factors, but the select board will, of course, vote to recommend or not recommend at some point, but we will go into the reading of the budget. Yes, Tommy.
Hi. A couple people have asked, at what point do the residents get to see this and weigh in before a final draft is made? Or are they just, I don't want to say trusting, because that sounds like there's devious things there, but are they involved, like the general public? I feel.
I can answer this, I think.
Yeah.
So we are doing the review right now, and
Okay.
then we're going to not sign it until next week. So
Okay.
they have a whole week and we'll post this on the website, and they'll be able to review it there. Does that work?
Yeah, no, that's, like I said, I just did, people had asked in the past that they didn't feel like they were involved or didn't have a chance to get involved, and I try to assure people you can show up anytime you want.
Absolutely.
All those finance committee meetings were all open.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were
So-
open to the public, and the
Absolutely.
public could have come to the Finance Committee or
100%.
There's many, many opportunities for people to get
texted the
involved.
Finance Committee if they were really concerned.
Yeah, if you want the deep dive into these budget line items, the Finance Committee meetings and maybe rewatching those is the place to get that information. We will do as best we can with
Yeah,
what we have.
no, like I said, that was the questions I get the most are, hey, I would love to have, comments about this. I'd like to speak my mind about this before it's finalized. And I say it's always open. The select board is very open to comments. So show up anytime, literally anytime.
That's great.
So thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. All right, so we will go through the line by line here. I think what I'm going to also do is, if everyone's agreed, the rest of the board has agreed to this, is just to call out the change percentage. Is that good with everybody? In essence, here's the dollar difference, but also here's the change percentage. Does that work for you all?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so first one is administration. The 2025-2026 budget was $195,164. The proposed 2026-2027 is $228,750, which represents a $33,586 change, which is a 17.2% increase. The next is broadcasting. 2025-2026, $9,500, and the proposed 2026-2027 is $8,200, which is a $1,300 difference, and that is a reduction of 13.7%. Next is the Treasurer's Office, 2025-2026, I'm going to say 25-26, $74,367. 2026-27 is $81,390, which is a 2,581 increase, and that works out to be 3.3% increase, which you're going to hear a lot, or in the 3 range, because that is basically, I'm sorry, I'll come back to that in a second. Town Clerk Office. Town's Clerk's Office, the 2025-26 was $84,910. The 2026-2027 is $77,927, which is a $6,983 reduction and a change of minus 8.2%. Let me just pause right there before I move on to elections. Any comment, any questions? Any board member? Okay. I'm going to go to legal fees, and I'm going to hand it off to somebody else so someone else's voice can be heard. Next is elections. 25-26 is $50,800. 26-27 is 43,800. So that is, elections is a $7,000 decrease, which is 13.8%. Next is tax collector. The tax collector, 25-26 is 86,912. The 26-27 is 92,897, which is a difference of $5,984, and that's a 6.9% increase. Next is assessing. The assessing budget in 25-26 was 81,800. The 26-27 was 92. The proposed budget is 92,897, which is a $10,850 increase of 13.3%. You want to take over legal fees, Mary, or somebody else?
Except illegal, but.
50 here
Mm-hmm.
and 92,897 there.
No, that's the tax collector. Go down one more on your.
Never mind, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Legal fees, all right.
He's reading too fast.
Legal fees, 25-26 is 31,500. 26-27 proposed budget is $52,000. So that is an increase of 20,500, which is a 65.1% increase. I think that's worth some quick, brief explanation. That's a pretty significant increase. Do you want to give just a brief explainer on that?
It's pretty much centered on the dam issue. And that's
Dam
that's
issue.
just the DAM issue. I'm going to get kicked out of school for using bad words, huh?
We've hired a really good legal representative for our dam decommissioning team, and we'd like to keep them, so we just wanted to have some money to be able to spend when the dam decommissioning legal issues come up.
Mr. Walters.
The decommissioning committee has tried to keep the use of the lawyer to an absolute minimum. We're very fortunate to have a representative from Buxton who's a very good writer. He's been writing most of our responses to FERC. And our goal is to continue to minimize the use of legal fees. But there are some things that just have to be addressed and we have to get information on. So that's why the request for the increase, we're certainly going to try not to use it if possible. But there are some things that we just have to have opinions on.
I think that's a really nice, good call out, is that we're budgeting for this. It doesn't mean that we're spending it, correct?
Correct.
You know, that's an important thing that not everyone maybe kind of connects sometimes, so please.
Yeah, but the other point, Mike, is that we have a number of different, like code, planning board, so there's a number of different articles in there.
Oh, yeah, it's not just the damn,
It's not
the damn
just-
lawyer, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
not just the
Let's not
select
blame
board,
them.
There's other committees in there also.
Yeah, okay. All right, moving along to, okay, now we're kind of, so I'm going to skip that one on the sheet here and go to operations and maintenance. So operations and maintenance, 25-26 is 134,280. 26-27, we are looking at 219,604, which is a $67,740 increase, which is 44.6% increase. We have a lot more operations and maintenance for our buildings here and other reasons. Any comment from the public or from the town manager or select board? Okay.
So what you have to remember, though, is that we went from a fairly small, compact building, and we're in this new facility, and the electric costs have gone up because electricity went up this year, and propane, we used a lot more during the winter time because of the extreme cold. So there's been a lot of reasons to have that budget go up.
Is there anything besides new town hall related stuff that's in that increase? I'm looking for like a way out for a 44% increase that has anything to do with anything else besides the new town hall? Or is that just, that 44% increase is just new town hall related increases?
Yeah, but in the contract we signed with the federal government, we had to support
Okay,
maintaining this building.
of course,
For the
absolutely.
$2 million.
For sure.
Plus, we've got other things that we've developed with the well and things like that for monitoring, and
Yep.
it's just the unknown in the first year.
Okay, all right. So we could probably expect that would drop a little bit once we get through the first year.
That should flatten out.
Okay.
Right, because we don't have an estimate on like what the summer's gonna be like. You
Right.
know, if we have a hot summer, we're gonna use a lot of electricity. We
It's a
don't
lot
know.
more building, absolutely.
Right, we don't know those
Okay.
unknowns, so
Cool.
that's why,
No,
yeah,
awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, and then there's,
Phil Finnemore, Bean Street. Just to get some more clarity on that, what is the, and I'm sure this number's been put out there before, but to help compare some apples to apples, do we know roughly, like square footage wise, what percentage increase this building is versus the other building?
Split level house. No,
Right.
massive
Well,
municipal building.
the picture I'm trying to paint is that you guys had to create a budget off of an incredibly, potentially historically cold winter. There's yearly expenses that are like first year expenses that are beyond, above and beyond, what the norm would be, like was just mentioned. So when we throw around percentage increase, I think, we don't think about how all of your reactions to how much more square footage are we now taking care of, I think, goes into, it has to be taken into consideration.
I think
More than
the old building would
41%
fit in
more.
this.
More than 40% more, right.
yeah, the old building would fit in this room.
That's my point. I think it's, sorry.
Maybe you should step away from.
Well,
it,
everyone's
Phil.
been talking about getting closer to it, so here I am. And that's my point, is that I think this increase could be a lot more than it is,
Well, yeah.
considering how much bigger our building is, correct?
And there's one other thing here, you got a capital improvement expenditure. Because when we did this building, you can't store any type of gasoline
In the building.
operating material in this building. So we're gonna have to hopefully get a shed to put it out back, to put the mower, the trimmers and things like that in, to maintain the building, so.
Becky, I saw you were standing up. You raced. Phil beat you, but you have a question or a comment?
I was telling Tom about the shed,
Yeah,
because it's
pull that
like, it's budgeted for a $15,000 capital improvement.
Yeah,
So capital improvement to buy a shed is budgeted at 15,000. You may spend 7, you may spend 15,000. Why couldn't the stuff be stored in the old town barn?
Have you been in there lately?
I'd rather burn it down.
Well, you can't build the old town barn down. It's a historic building.
so you prove it's historic, tell me.
Well, I thought there was a sign on it once about the river and the whatever.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is that
it's a
maybe we
has-
should be budgeting some money to clean up the old town barn? It's right full of stuff that probably should have been thrown away years ago? I mean, I don't know. I'll go in it. Is it locked?
Becky,
Yeah, it's locked.
you don't want to go in there without a hazmat suit on.
Yeah.
Wow.
and we've been gradually working through all the files and stuff, trying to clean up the building, and eventually we're gonna have to hire somebody to come in and just
Shred it.
haul things away.
If you're
Okay.
So one of the things that would be stored in there would be the snow blower that we have that is used. And moving it from there to here in the midst of a storm is a little bit ridiculous, getting to it. Secondly is, I don't want to put a snow blower of the value that one is in that building. It's just not good. The other thing we're looking at is the design of the roof drops snow on the backside here, and sometimes it does it when in between when we're here and when we're not. It freezes again, and our facilities guy is out there with almost a chopping block here trying to break that up because these are the emergency exits for this part of the building. So I recommended that we get him a small tractor that he can then back some of the stuff out.
And
That needs a place to park.
Okay. And is that in this budget, or do you already
It's
have
in
the
this
tractor?
budget as well.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
All right.
We have this town barn that's sitting out there. I thought if we could save 15,000, we could park stuff out there.
And hopefully it would
Okay.
burn.
All right. I'm the chair. No more talking about the town barn. We're done.
Done with the talk. Oh, good.
All right, Salmon Falls Library, 25-26, $38,615. 26-27 proposed budget is $40,141 increase, which is, reading that, yeah, 40,000. That's a $1,526 increase. That's 4% increase there. Next is insurance. We're looking at $545,545 in 25-26. Proposed budget for 26-27 is $608,164, which signifies a $42,619 increase, which is a 7.5 increase.
And Roger, thank you very much for the nod to look a little further ahead. And I went back to the letter from the insurance provider. It's a January to December price fix, and our budget is a July to June budget. So we had 6 months extra. We threw a little bit of cushion in there to take care of the surprise.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay,
So Mike, I can read it if you want for a while.
Was that? No, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
on a roll right
You're
now.
on a roll. Okay.
I tried to give it to one of you, and then it slowed down significantly, so I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
Employee longevity. This is a really easy one. $13,193 in 25-26, and in 2026-27, the proposed budget is zero, which is a 100% discount. Decrease. So that is. But anybody want to explain what that is? Employee longevity, the
On which one?
decrease
I'm
to
sorry, I
zero.
didn't
The
hear you.
employee longevity from 13,000 to zero.
Yeah, I can give you a little bit of a heads up. I understand what that's for. I am looking to, I'll call it redesign our payroll and build a range and then apply, return to performance reviews and adherence to budget and so on and so forth to be able to move those numbers within a range as opposed to a mandatory increase based on, simply just based on years of service. At the same time, we don't want to lose sight of the fact that if you've been here, you've been enjoying increases all along, and I mean that's life in general. If you start at a lower end of a scale and work your way up, but if you started today, you're in that upper range as opposed to where somebody maybe started 15, 20, or whatever number of years ago. I think that's a more practical and modern day approach to the payroll.
Great. $13,000 less.
So did we do the same thing with the fire department?
Very good question, and we didn't. Or we did, actually, is bring it into a comparable modern day wage configuration.
And that's why we started it, because the fire department had it, the rest of the employees didn't.
Speaking to the
We've had 4 or 5 departures, and we're trying to prevent the bleed.
Okay. I'm just
I hear
giving
you.
history
Yep,
on how
I
it
hear you.
established.
All right. Next item is Maine PERS/457 retirement. In prior year, we are at 99,229. This budget is $111,136, which signifies an $11,907 increase, which is 12%. Next is FICA withholding. We have in prior budget, $185,722, $185,722. I can't, okay, maybe I should hand it off. Now it's, for this budget, we are looking at $210,933, which is a $25,000 increase, $25,161 increase, which signifies 13.5%. Next is animal control. Previous budget was $40,400. This year has gone down. It's $35,000 even, which is a $5,400 reduction, which is a 13.4% reduction. Next is veterans flags. Last year we were looking at $1,200. This year we're looking at $1,200, which is going to keep us at 0% increase. Not last, but code enforcement officer. Here we have in prior year $123,533. This year we are looking at $167.25, which is that. What do we got going on there?
Which brings us up to an invitation for the code officer
Yes.
to come up.
Thank you. Just to put it out there, because I've done it for everything else, it's an increase of $43,492, which signifies a 35.2% increase.
Yep, so that there entails, by looking at getting a deputy code officer for when I'm on vacations. Right now, we have Patty McKenna that fills in when she can, but she's full-time in Buxton. So we're looking to hire somebody that can do in part-time. And, sorry.
I was going to say something.
How about now?
There you go. Thank you, Bennett.
Thank you.
So yeah, so that's an increase there in the wages. Also, we went to iWorks fully now. We're trying to go paperless. So everything you can do online. So we're working into that. Tammy and I have that on the website now. You can fill out. Right now, the package that we have only allows us one fillable permit. So we're hoping to add to that maybe next year. You can get 3 more fillables for another $750 a year. But we're trying to do what we can with what we got now. And so there was an increase in the budget for software. So we kind of moved the numbers from equipment, which didn't really match. iWorks was getting taken out of that last year. So we took money from equipment and put it up into software where it should be, and that's where iWorks comes under the software. The other thing is I'm proposing to lease a vehicle for the town for the code officer to use. We already have magnetic decals that was purchased a couple code officers ago. So that could be placed on the vehicle. That I've been looking around, and the best price and best deal I could find was a 2026 Hyundai Kona SE. It's a 2.0 liter, all-wheel drive, automatic. You can take it out of 4-wheel and put it in 2-wheel. Yeah, so at least I can do a lease with them, and that will be coming out of the mileage budget that I'm appropriated now of $3,000 a year. And so yeah, there's money there now to do it, because each year right now we've had some carry forwards. So
correct me if I'm wrong. This is going to be primarily used by the code enforcement officer.
Correct.
Or the deputy code enforcement officer in
Correct.
the future, but also
Stays here.
if it's there.
Yeah,
in the
if it's
parking
there,
lot,
yep.
And our treasurer wants to go to the bank
Correct.
or something like that, or
Yep.
some other significant
Correct.
reason, they could use
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Okay.
And I just feel that it's more professional showing up in a vehicle that has the town logo.
Yep.
And then coming into with my vehicle, personal vehicle, that also, the insurance is better. Right now, I don't tell my insurance company that I'm using my truck for work, so if I get in an accident, I think, there's some liability there. So that's the big increases in the code office budget.
Dwayne, will hiring a deputy be able to serve the town better? Will there be more hours? Will there be more inspections per week, or?
What I'm hoping to do with that is it's going to be better for the town, because right now I'm limited to what I can do. There's a lot of, and as you've probably seen, riding around on snowmobiles, there's a lot of violations that need to be addressed in the town. They haven't been over the years, and I guess I'm going to have to be the bad guy to start doing that. But it's a lot of work. You have to go to the property. If they don't let you in, then you have to get a warrant and have an officer go with you. Right now, I don't have the time to do that. But so things of that nature. Then doing an NOV, a notice of violation, for that property. If they don't get their mail, try to get a hold of them. It's a long process, And then really the town allows me to set a fee to say, hey, if you don't get it done by this date, you have 30 days. But there's no recourse really if they don't want to pay it. I was under the assumption when I started that it would go on your taxes, and it doesn't. So basically you'd have to, after a period, take them to court, But yes, I think it would increase the town, money-wise too, for violations, if people are not paying for them, So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Dwayne? Or anything more that you wanted to present?
Yeah, so they asked me to just say, it was a 2026 Kona. The VIN number is KM8HACABOTUF22313. That's the VIN number, if you guys want that information as well.
So my understanding, Dwayne, was you wanted to start leasing the vehicle now?
Correct.
So I don't know how we do that. Do we need to vote on that?
If it's within his budget, do we need to vote on it?
I would feel better if the board approved moving forward on that.
Okay. Okay, well, we can certainly discuss it. Let's actually create that. Let's start with a motion, and we can discuss it, whether we're going to, all the things that we probably want to discuss about this.
I just got to ask one question. Was this brought before finance?
Yes.
Was it brought before the finance committee?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
And they're all good with it?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, was it brought before the finance committee to start now, or it was in the budget for next year? What he has said is that he's got this deal now, and there's funds in his current budget that would support it. So
Correct.
I want your
Correct.
approval to move forward sooner
With this
than
current budget?
the start of the new budget. Or no, it's up to you.
Okay. Chair would entertain, do you want to make a motion?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the leasing of this vehicle for the use of the town of Hollis.
So moved.
Second it?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just don't like leases. If we did anything, I would have rather combined things and bought a car outright.
And I think we should come up with some sort of policy for having a town-owned vehicle and who gets keys to it, and what type of uses is official type
Well,
thing.
you'd have to use it in official capacity for the town to be covered by the town insurance.
Would be good to have a policy in place to define that and where the keys live and that kind of thing, right? Because they're going to stay here.
Yeah, and
Correct.
who fills it up, and who washes it, and who takes it to get the oil changes. And I think it needs to be kind of
laid out.
Sure. Agreed.
Especially if it's more than one person who's using it.
I think the you know, the liability will be on me for that. I don't mind doing that. I keep my vehicles pretty clean, and I don't mind taking that responsibility, even if somebody else is using it, you know. I think I'm going to be using it 90% of the time anyway, so.
So did you account for oil changes and gas and things like that?
I did for gas, and oil changes are part of that agreement, they said. Because 7,500 miles, really, if you know, you don't even have to have the oil change with synthetic, but you should do it by, you know, a
They'll
year
let you know.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just weigh in here for me as someone that leases a vehicle. There are a lot of benefits, obviously, to leasing a vehicle, and one of those is not having to worry about any maintenance, pretty much at all, except for just making sure that
Tires, brakes.
wear items at the end of a lease, the town could be liable to add, to actually create, to buy tires if that's
Correct.
below. That would be the one thing. Brakes, I couldn't imagine with that
But-
amount of mileage, we would need to replace
Yeah,
brakes at that point.
7,500 miles for 36, you know, 36 months is.
Yeah, and it's also a very low priced lease. It's
Correct.
pretty inexpensive lease. So as a person that's my view is why, you know, some people would say, why don't we go for the used car? And I feel like that's just potentially down the road, something we have to like fix or replace an engine or something like that. This, we're in, we give it back, we lease another one.
Yeah, like,
Or you can do a lease end. If we're like, we change our mind about this, you can buy out your lease. And that's another option on a leasing, so.
there we go. And we could go Roger's route.
Any other discussion?
So in this, I know you have a quote there. How
Yeah.
long is that going to be good for?
For this approved quote,
Yeah.
they dated, the rebates ended the 31st, so they dated everything because I told them we had the meeting tonight to get approved, so it's pending on approval tonight. Otherwise, we lose $2,750 rebate that ended on the 31st.
Any other discussion? Okay.
No, I just think it's about time we did something.
What's that?
Well, as far as having a vehicle available here at the town hall.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that.
I mean, even if the town manager has to make an errand or something like that too.
That was
I
brought
mean,
up, so.
I think there's just multifaceted things here that could take place with this.
Great.
Okay. Let's
No.
vote on it.
Yeah, okay, I just want
Let's
to make
vote
sure.
on it. All
Anyone
right.
have, okay.
Make a motion, we approve the,
Second.
So moved.
Dan, do you want to, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jack?
I already jumped, yes.
Yes.
Karen?
yep,
Yes.
okay.
Motion is approved. You
There we
got
go.
yourself a car.
Oh, awesome, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
So we expect a policy tomorrow morning.
Yeah, on our desk tomorrow morning, Dwayne. All right, so that brings us to the end of this section, which is a grand total of, well, previous year was $1,816,720. This year is $2,070,817, which I don't have a breakdown of what the percentage increase on that exact line. If anyone wants to do the quick math, they could. I think it's somewhere in the 200,000. 12% is 200,000.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we can probably make a motion right now for the select board to recommend or not recommend, correct?
Mhm.
There's no reason to hold off on that. So Chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 3.
So moved.
Second?
Second. Wherever you second.
And we'll just go in, all in favor. Roger?
Okay.
Is that a yes? Mary?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So the motion passes. Select board recommends. Mary, you want to do Article 4?
Sure. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $35,000 for the committees and boards for the 2026-2027 fiscal year as detailed below. Comprehensive Plan Committee, last year was 2,000, this year we're going to raise it to 5,000. It's a $3,000 increase or 150%. Planning Board, last year was 30,800. This year is going to be 25,700, a decrease of 5,100 for a 16.6% decrease. Finance Committee is, last year was 1,900. This year is going to be 1,900, which is the same. Appeals Board, last year was $1,500. This year will be $1,500, which is the same. Community Clothing Closet, last year was $500. This year will be $500, which remains the same. And last but not least, the Conservation Commission, last year was $600. This year, $1,200, an increase of $600 or 100% increase. For last year, it was a total for that section of $37,300. This year is a total of $35,800.
All right.
Any questions on any of those by anybody? We're increasing the comprehensive plan to the 5,000 so we can finish the comprehensive plan this year and get it on the warrant in November.
Any more discussion?
Motion to recommend.
Take a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. On to Article 5. Dan, you want to do that one?
Sure. Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $540,854 for the Recreation Department and Sports Complex for the 2026-27 fiscal year as detailed below? Hollis Rec Department 2025-2026 was $437,863. 26-27 is $473,731, which is a $35,868 increase, which comes out to 8.2%. The Sports Complex 2025-2026 is $69,600. 26-27 goes to $67,123, which is a $2,477 decrease, which comes out to negative 3.6%.
All right, any comment from the public on this warrant article? Thumbs up, I see a thumbs up, that's great. Any more discussion from the board?
Motion to recommend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving right along, I feel like it would only be appropriate for Jack.
No, it wouldn't be.
Roger.
I knew that would happen. Roger,
Shall the
you got to
town-
do Article 6.
Shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $1,630,220 for Public Works for the 26-27 fiscal year, detailed? Okay, snow and sanding, 25-26 was 597,000, 26-27, 615,000. There. So it's a difference of 18,000 or a 3% increase. Highway 129,100 and 25-26, and it's staying the same in 26-27. So it's no increase. Paving, we've got 25-26 of 205,000, 26-27, 247,000. So that's an increase of 42,000, and it's a 20.5 increase. Road Commissioner, 25-26, 87,802. 26-27, 79,120. I gotta find him wherever he is. Okay, it's dropped 9,302, minus 10.6%. Solid waste, 476,000. 26-27 is 544,000. That's a big jump. What did they go up per tonnage this year? They go up another $10?
There was a significant increase in volume and a small increase in price.
So it's a difference of 68,000, a 14.3% difference. And streetlights, 16,000, and again, 26-27, 16,000. No change there. I make a motion to select board
But we have
recommend.
somebody.
Oop, huh? Oop, somebody wants to talk, okay.
So
Sorry.
I would assume, and I don't like to assume,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
somebody needs to answer the question for me,
Yeah.
that the solid waste disposal fees are probably tipping fees and recycling increases at Echo Maine?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
So are we really getting the bang for our buck at Echo Maine anymore where we are an owner?
We're power owner. And let me see if I remember. Last year, they went up $10. I'm trying to remember off the top. Hold on.
So we do get
Roughly,
it.
it's about a $20, $21 difference between being an owner versus being
Okay.
non-owner.
Okay,
So that's the difference.
all right.
I'm just
So-
trying to remember off the top of my head.
Is there anything that we can do
It
to
would probably
reduce
cost
our
us-
cost?
Probably costs us, well, recycle more.
If
Yeah.
we recycled, we would be reducing our cost.
That was a big thing. I know we had Eco Maine here talking last fall about recycling.
What
and
they say was 10%, I think? I think that was the number.
Right.
It was
We were at
crazy.
17%, and they wanted to get us up to 27%.
Oh.
But that's the thing, because I went and I started collecting those plastic barrels from the car washes. So I got about 30 barrels out behind my house because I was trying to get us headed into that direction of doing more recycling. And if we had somebody that didn't have barrels, here's a barrel. So,
And then it appears that some of the containers met with accidents during the snow season. So there's an awful lot of people that are just putting out bags now because they lost their barrels. However, there is an opportunity with the Climate Resiliency Group to have a project to have Eco Maine work with us on recycling and maybe potentially get blue containers for them at with climate people paying for the cost. So we're going to be working on a grant.
Perfect.
Becky, one thing I was looking into that I kind of fizzled out on, but it could still happen pretty easily, was there's some group buys for these backyard compost bins. You know, it was a big thing 20 years ago or whatever.
But you could buy them here.
And it's like you get a municipal discount of them, or, you know, you
Yeah,
get
and we
people to sign
pre-ordered
up that
them.
they
We
want to buy them, and
pre-ordered
they all
one,
come
yep.
the same day and get it type deal. And that could cut back on, you know, because it's food waste is pretty heavy, and it, you know, it could just rot away in people's backyards instead of us hauling it to them and paying to get rid of it. You know, it's true.
Yep.
Everyone's got a lot of backyards and gardens, and it could kind of stay here.
It's just a huge increase. I mean, it's a
Right,
big,
so
they went up $10 for 2 years. This will be the third year that they've gone up. They continue.
and we have a representative to the,
We do, it's Dave Durrell and myself,
Yeah.
so I'll need to be replaced. And I did talk to Dave today, he's gonna talk to Eco Maine because they do have some educational opportunities and would work with us if we do get the grant. We could certainly look at waste, like composting and stuff too, at the same
Right.
time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so if anybody needs a trash barrel, let me know.
Yeah, I think maybe it's not clear to maybe anyone that's listening right now that doesn't recycle. You don't need a special container. You just need a trash barrel that's marked recycle, or
Right.
that's all they need.
Sometimes even if you don't mark them, they'll take it.
They'll understand what it is, right? Yeah.
I got a few of those big 55-gallon.
Head to Roger's house.
No. Why? I have two of them and I drag them down.
So if anybody would like to
Anyway.
work on that project with Southern Maine, please let me know, and we'll certainly get you on the group.
Okay, we all set on comments for Public Works and sanitation? Make a motion, we recommend.
Second motion to recommend?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving right along. Article 7, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $1,719,522 for the Hollis Municipal Fire and Rescue Department for the 26-27 fiscal year as detailed below? Emergency services, $1,564,112. That's 26-25, 25-26, 26-27 is $1,719,522, which is a $155,410 increase, which is a 9.9% increase. I highly suggest that if the public has any questions about this particular line item, please watch the Finance Committee meeting. They talk about it and all the reasons. Chris, the fire chief, talks about all the different reasons why we're having this increase. A lot of it does have to do, some of it does have to do with salary and retention and other things like that. That being said, anybody out here in the public have questions, whether it be online or in person?
And there also was, he did present at a select board meeting also.
Oh, that's right, yes, yeah.
In depth,
It's true.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was very well covered. All right, Chair would entertain a motion to recommend.
So moved.
Thank you. I'm getting it all. mixed
Second?
up. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Article 8, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $77,190 for general assistance, the state mandated welfare program for the 26-27 fiscal year as detailed below? And Martha, one sec, I'll just read it out and then you can
Oh, yes.
say
I'm
whatever.
just getting up here to save time.
Okay, great. So general assistance for 25-26 is $127,640. For 26-27, $77,190, which is a $50,000 decrease, and that's a 39.5% decrease. Sorry, Martha.
My question on this, does this include the general assistance? Does that include wages for the general assistance
Yes,
person?
it does. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the marked decrease is that we've lost the immigrants and the people that we had to pay the full tab for months because they were unable to work until they got work permits. So,
Any other comments from the public or from the select board? Chair, entertain a motion to recommend.
so moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Article 8, not yet. Not yet, you. Article 9, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $24,962 for the following non-municipal requests for the 26-27 fiscal year as detailed below? Do we generally read all these out?
I'll crank through them.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not going to give the percentages, though. You guys got to do your own math.
Good
All
call.
right,
Good call.
York County shelters, last year 750, this year 0. York County Community Action, last year 35,000, this year, sorry, 3,500, this year 3,500. Kids Kids Free to Grow, last year 800, this year 1,000. Caring Unlimited, last year 1,200, this year 1,566. Day One, 500 even. Southern Maine Agency on Aging, 3,000 last year, 3,500 this year. Scout Troop, 323, 1,500 both years. American Red Cross went from 0 to 500. Buxton Hollis Historical Society went from 1,500 to 2,500. Northern Light Health, VNA, went from 250 to 0. Maine Public Broadcasting is 100 to 100. Saco River Corridor Commission is 750 to 1,100. Life Flight of Maine, 1,000 to 1,186. Southern Maine Veterans Cemetery Association, 500 both years. Waypoint, Maine, 0 last year, 500 this year. Friends of the Hollis Equestrian Park, 800 last year, 900 this year. Sweetser, 1,500 last year, 5,000 this year. Saco River Community TV was in this category last year at 21,800, and it has its own warrant article this year. Maine Behavioral Health Care is 300 last year, 500 this year. Camp Sunshine, 250 last year, 500 this year. Kennebec Behavioral Health, $0 last year, $110 this year. So the grand totals last year was 40,000. This year is 24,962.
It's a difference of $15,000.
Sorry to take up everybody's time. I don't necessarily agree with all these, but shame on me, I didn't make finance committee, so too bad on me. And maybe it's someplace else. We used to have a budget line for veteran graves that were handled in town. Like, I think we're, by law, that we have a small responsibility to the veterans' graves. And it may be on here someplace else in the warrant, but we used to years ago have a veterans' grave in ancient cemeteries, so we could try to repair some of the stones that were maybe falling apart. But I'm just bringing it up as a going forward kind of thing that it's great that we're supporting all these out-of-town things, but we need to look at the things in town too. I mean, I know you have the veterans flags on there. I think that's a requirement for us probably. But I think we have a little bit of an obligation for veterans' graves, and I'm not sure what it is. The laws change, so, but it may be something we want to look at in the future.
Okay. Thank you, Martha. Any other public comment on Article 9?
Martha, to answer your question, I think there's a protected account with some money in it.
Yep.
Because I just dropped all my papers all over the floor, so.
That's what I was going to see. I was going to say we can look that up because I'm pretty sure there's a protected account, but I don't remember what the number is in it. So.
I know there's money in an account.
Okay, if any other discussion by the board? All right. Chair would entertain a motion to recommend the Article 9.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, great. Moving on. Mary, do you want to do 10?
Sure. So shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $21,280 for the Saco River Community Television for the 2026-2027 fiscal year as detailed below? And it says Saco River Community TV last year was $21,800. This year it's $21,280. And I think that's divided between 6 towns, and it's sort of our share of the budget.
Any public comment? Any comment from the board? Oh, I saw.
Nope.
I'll get closer to the mic. And I may be way off on this, are the cable franchise fees connected to this in any way? Or is it 2 totally separate entities now? Because I'm thinking originally,
I think they're separate.
Okay, that's fine.
The franchise fees are separate.
Okay.
We do get franchise fees every year, about $45,000. But the payment to Saco River TV, they're a completely different entity.
Okay. And so, and that's for their channel that they have?
Correct. It's,
Okay.
and they also provide other broadcasting
Opportunities.
services. And yeah, so if anybody has an interest in broadcasting or recording, you can contact them. They're open 5 days a week. Students, children, families.
Thanks, Bennett.
You're welcome.
All right. If there's nothing else here, Chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 10.
Motion to recommend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Article 11, shall the town vote to authorize the Select Board and Tax Collector to, A, charge interest on unpaid taxes at a rate of 7% per annum? How do you say that? Annum, right? Yeah. Set the B, set November 5th, 2026 and May 6th, 2027 as the dates on which one half of the property taxes for 26-27 fiscal year shall be due and payable with interest commencing on the first half on November 19th, 2026, or 45 days from the commitment date, whichever is later. Interest on the second half starts on May 20th, 2027. C, accept prepayment of taxes not yet committed pursuant to 36 MRS 506, provided that the town will not apply interest rates on such collections. D, set the interest rate to be paid by the town on refunded overpayment of taxes for the 25-26 fiscal year set at 3%. And E, apply all tax payments to the oldest outstanding taxes first. Very similar to last year with updated dates, pretty much. Is that kind of where we're going here?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Any public comment on this? Any comment from the board? Chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 11.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Article 12, shall the town vote to appropriate all monies necessary to pay all tax abatements approved by the assessor from property tax overlay and, if necessary, from unassigned fund balance? Any comment on that? Questions?
So my question on that one, Mike, and I apologize, I know it's getting late, appropriate. So I don't know how you appropriate something that doesn't have a dollar amount with it. To me, I don't know, I was going to look it up on my phone's dead, so I couldn't Google what appropriate means. But to me, when you set the municipal tax rate form, you've got your county taxes, your municipal, your school, and everything with appropriate gets added into that municipal thing. Because I noticed it's used on revenues as well. And it's like, why would you appropriate your revenues? You wouldn't want to appropriate it in your tax commitment and then also subtract it later, because it would just, so I don't know if that's the correct word. You guys can investigate it.
You have, it's a good point, Martha, because I was looking at that, and I just started reading it.
Because
we're not appropriating money, we're actually asking to take it out of the, it come out of operations, because unassigned fund
Right,
balance
but
is
how do you-
basically operations. So basically, we would have to ask permission to pay for abatements out of the operation account.
Well, oh yeah, because the way it's worded, and traditionally towns do this. There is a tax overlay account when you do your municipal tax rate
Yeah,
calculation.
but that's for when people don't pay their taxes.
No, the tax overlay is usually done for the rounding of the tax bills, for the pennies on the tax bill. But traditionally, and we're not the only town that does that, it gets padded a little bit for this type of abatement. Let's say you make a mistake, because otherwise you don't have any way to refund that money to that person without going through a town meeting. So and the part that bothers me on this one is, how do you appropriate something that you don't know what the dollar amount is? And then also the selectmen are recommending, and I thought select board only have to make recommendations on articles that have dollar amounts
figures
with them. So That
Well,
just
we
my
can
com-
certainly check. We did check with legal, and we'll check
Yeah,
with them again.
yeah, just to see, 'cause I don't
And that's
know.
the wording that he recommended, but
Right.
we'll ask him again.
Because Article 13, just to jump ahead so I won't interrupt again, usually it's you accept the following revenues, not appropriate this following revenues, because you're going to accept them in to use them against your tax rate.
But we'll certainly ask Ben again.
Yep.
This is what he recommended
Yep.
on the writing, but we'll
That's great.
clarify it with him again.
Thank you.
Martha. We'll skip recommending Article 12 because it might be amended. Article 13, we don't have the number, so this is definitely one we're going to not, we can go through it, the lines, but we don't have the final number necessarily to add to the 26, 27. We're missing a few totals, and so we're not going to be able to vote to recommend this or not. We need that number to be there, but we can go through the numbers at least. Does that work for everybody else?
Yeah.
Would you suggest something else, Mary?
No.
Okay. Okay, so MDOT block grant, 25-26 is 62,000. This year is 62,000. Code enforcement fees, 120,000. 26-27, what are we waiting on? Are we waiting on that number? Or we just don't, we're estimating that, Dick? On the code enforcement, like where we're blank, what are we?
Do you have any? I can't give you a number, anything that's close.
Yeah.
We started that process, the discussion, and it kind of paused for a bit because things were coming at us from all different angles. I'm sorry to say.
We'll just move on. So dog fees, 800, this year 800. Excise tax, 1,075,000. Rescue fees last year was $220,000. Parks and Rec, $255,000. Miscellaneous revenue and reimbursements was $95,000. BETE reimbursements, $895,000 from 2026-25, with a 710 estimated revenue for 26-27. Homestead reimbursements, $240,000, 25-26, 26-27, estimated $240,000. Tree growth reimbursements, $38,500 for 25-26. We don't know for 26-27. Veterans exemption reimbursements for 25-26 was $3,000. 26-27 is the same. State revenue sharing for last year is $500,000. For this year is $539,118 estimate. And then general assistance state reimbursement, $88,000. This year, $42,000. And then cable franchise fees, which we were just talking about a moment ago, last year was $45,000. This year is the same, $45,000. So obviously, we can't recommend this yet. We don't have all the numbers. Is that good for everybody just to move on to Article 14?
So I just wanted to comment a little bit on that. I can't remember what it's called, but last year we were at 62%, and this year we're probably going to fall below 60%. And so with tree growth reimbursements, it's not that we don't know the number will be zero because we're falling below 60%. And on Betty and Homestead, we're not sure whether that will influence what we get back on those also. But because we're below 60% when we talk to the assessing agents today, we will not be reimbursed for tree, and I can't think what it's called,
I
Martha.
think it's called sales ratio or your municipal, something to do with the sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I can't think of it either.
because we haven't had a reeval for so long, we're going to be below 60%, and eventually, if we don't get a reval done, then we'll have the state come in and do one, which
Yeah.
isn't
Are
on the
we in
highly
danger of
recommended list.
losing like homestead reimbursement as well, or that's
Well,
not
right
tied
now,
to the?
because the homestead reimbursement, the state usually gives you, what, 25,000 off your taxes, or whatever the number is?
Right, so each
And
taxpayer gets
so-
less because we're only at the
because of- yeah,
60%.
yeah, so you get less, so
Ah.
it's really not to the advantage of the taxpayer to continue to delay getting a reval.
Yeah, so is there, and this, I'm jumping ahead, but is there a real reval question on here as we
There
get going?
is.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And we're going to be also, John O'Donnell, who's our assessing agent, is going to be working with me to sort of look at the Betty reimbursement and homestead reimbursement to make sure those numbers are what he thinks they should be. He didn't have time today, so.
Okay, moving right along. Article 14, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $41,500 for the non-municipal Hollis Center Public Library?
Move to approve.
Any public comment?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We should be able to get through these pretty quickly. Article 15, shall the town vote to appropriate up to $265,000 from the operation fund balance for the revaluation of real property in the town? Yep. Discussion? Questions?
Roger, I have a question regarding that operation fund. You had mentioned that it should be operation fund, but I'm wondering if it should be undesignated fund balance
Well, see,
instead of
your
operation
undesignated
fund.
fund balance is the operation.
Okay, so can you make sure that you guys, when you make your
which-
motion to change
Which
it?
one do we want to call it?
Well, you have monies that aren't spent during
Speak into
the
the
year
mic.
go shift into the operation.
To the
Oh,
mic.
sorry, the money that is left over gets shifted into operations. So that's, we're so used to calling it the undesignated, but it's actually the operations account.
Well, it's just that you have an operations and maintenance account and 400, that's what.
Yes. See, and then I was I mix it up and I say general fund at times, but the general fund is another one. That's the rainy day fund. And then you have operations. And you have the TIF account and there's one other, sorry. But
So do we want to leave it worded like that or change it?
I'd leave it in the operation because any money left over from 25, 26 will shift into operations to, remember we talked about this and Martha, you were talking when we were going through the carry forwards and you said we should put a warrant article together. This is the warrant article that we were talking about because we need to get the reval done and they're supposed to start, what, August?
Start,
If we, once we approve it, they need to start in August to have it done by the next tax commitment.
2027, 28 tax commitment.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself all night on camera, but I think everybody knows who I am, Martha Huff. And I think what we're talking about, I like this, that you're putting money away for the reval, but I think what the article I was talking about way back when was, we used to have an article, and maybe it's on here, we used to have an article that gave the select board permission to use up to a certain amount of the undesignated fund balance or the
That's coming
operations
up.
balance. It is to offset the tax rate? Okay.
No,
Offset
no.
the tax rate. See,
See, but the thing is, if you, let's say, and I don't know that you have a big undesignated fund balance now. I don't know if anybody knows what we have in it at the moment. But my point is this, let's say you have a year where you've had more revenues than you anticipated, so that fund grows. When you're setting the tax rate, if the select board has permission to take $200,000 of that to offset the tax rate, you can do that. But if you don't have permission to do it, you can't just switch that money over.
right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I
It's not a
understand
carry
what you're
forward, it's a
saying.
total different
Right.
thing.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question to prepare for 27, 28. So what is our total price on doing a reval?
$265,000.
And then we don't make another payment for next year, just this year, and we're done paying for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, great, thank you.
Yeah. When we hired the O'Donnells, that was part of the discussion we had, was to pre-plan this.
Any other discussion or questions? Chair entertain a motion to recommend Article 15.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Article 16, shall the town vote to authorize the select board to carry forward specific account balances from the current year to the same article accounts for the ensuing year and appropriate such balances for the specific purpose of each account? I believe this is the same exact article from last year, just carrying it forward, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any discussion, any questions? Someone make a motion to recommend?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Article 17, shall the town vote to appropriate all funds received from the registration of snowmobiles to the Hollis Honkers Snowmobile Club for the purpose of maintaining Hollis's snowmobile trails on the condition that said trails be open to the public for outdoor recreational purposes at no charge? Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
What was that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 18, this is new wording, I believe, to this one. Article 18, shall the town vote to appropriate all funds received from the registration of all-terrain vehicles, ATVs, to the Hollis Freewheelers ATV Club for the purpose of maintaining Hollis's all-terrain vehicle trails on the condition that said trails be open to the public for outdoor recreational purposes at no charge. Am I correct? That's just, we changed the wording? Is that- Yeah, okay. So, motion to approve or recommend.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Article 19, shall the town vote to authorize the select board to appropriate from the TIF fund, account number 2025, as they deem advisable to fund and meet unanticipated expenses and/or emergencies that are clearly authorized in the TIF agreement? I believe this is another
Repeat.
repeat.
Yep.
Oh, it's not comment. Okay, any comment at all?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Article 20, shall the town vote to authorize the select board to appropriate up to $200,000 from unassigned fund balance as it deems necessary to fund and meet unanticipated expenses and/or emergencies that may occur with the majority vote of the select board and majority vote of the finance committee for each occurrence? Any
I
questions?
don't agree with it. I said I don't agree with it. We always had that both have to agree. If it's a true emergency, I would say that we could all agree on that, but this kind of stems from when I voted against spending money on, to buy more salt.
Or sand.
Or sand. Don't need it. I mean, a true emergency. And I think it still should be unanimous.
Thank you, Roger. Any public comment or any comment from the board?
I agree with Roger.
Okay. Any other comment? Actually, I'll just do it full one on this one, just so we get the full vote. So the chair would entertain a motion to recommend Article 20 for the warrant. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion, any further discussion? All in favor? Actually, sorry, we'll do a full vote. Roger, you said?
No.
No. Mary?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Jack is a no.
Yes.
Motion to recommend.
I just want that the recommendation shows the true vote of the board.
Okay.
Article 21, shall the town vote to authorize the town manager on behalf of the town to apply for and accept grants, donations, gifts, devices, or bequests for any individual, organization, or government body for municipal purposes, including when necessary, the authority to sign grants, contracts, documents, or other paperwork, and accept the conditions that accompany such funds, and to appropriate and expend grants for authorized purposes as the town manager deems in the best interest of the town. No, this is what this is for. We expected to go late, no problem.
No, and this is not directed towards the town manager Dick at all in any way, and I think we've had articles like this before, and I think if you look in the municipal officers handbook, it recommends not to do a blanket warrant article like that, because grants sometimes come with other things with them. Not that you're not smart enough to do that, I'm not saying that, but I think if you read in your municipal officers manual that when it comes to warrants, it says not to just give over permission to any one person or one board, for grants in particular, because usually you get something, but they want something in return, so, just, that's totally up to you guys.
So
And
I
we
could-
were,
So if we added /select board, would that cover what you're saying?
No, I think the municipal offices is geared towards a select board, and I think, I could be way off, because my memory's not what it used to be. Maybe in the town meeting and elections, but I think it's in the municipal officers, main municipal book, there's a little section on writing warrants or town meetings. And I think it gives you all the recommended articles that you need to have each year, you know, revenues and all that. But I think it used to say, I believe, that they don't recommend a town just blanketly accepting particularly grants, because you know, there's a give and take. And I'm not saying you shouldn't take them. I'm just saying that usually it's a vote of the town.
this was a recommendation that we had to put in last year to accept the federal grant or the year
Right,
before.
so you would grant, you would do it for a specific grant. We're going to accept the grant of X, Y, Z, is what I'm saying.
We were told to write this specifically.
Yeah,
We
and I'm
didn't
sure.
We didn't accept a specific grant of X, Y, Z. We were told to put this in. We can certainly check with legal on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever, I'm just giving my 2 cents.
And I know in the past, Martha, we've had people leave the town property. Actually, I think it's up across from you, Becky. It ran the trail. Right, it was left to the town. So if we don't have this, how can you accept something like that?
Take it to a town meeting vote, and the town would accept it.
Well, you said which books did you tell us to
It's in
look
the,
at?
it's the town meeting.
Martha, I'm sorry. I want to hear, we need to get this on the, I apologize, but we just need.
You're exactly right. And you guys all night about that. I believe it's the municipal officers manual or in the town meeting manual.
Okay. So
But
we'll look at that, but. it
they
was-
always, there's a little section on the ones you have to have and the ones maybe you shouldn't have.
Right, so we
So-
were told last year we had to have it, so
I
we'll
think
check
we
on
ran-
that.
I think we ran that past Ben last year.
Yep, and
Because-
that's what legal said, so.
Mr. Ponzetti.
Joe Ponzetti. How have we done it in the past, Mary? How have you had permission to ask for or you know, proceed to get a grant? Have you
We've
done
had
it?
an article like this on the
So
warrant.
you have to wait first to have an article and it has to be voted on before you can apply for a grant?
Well, that's what some people are saying. We've had
But I
this
mean, that's not how have we done it in the past.
with this article being passed by the town, so.
But this article has not been, this article is a brand-new article.
No, it's not brand new, no, sir.
Oh, so this article,
Has been on the warrant before, yep.
Oh, I know
So-
I know what you're referring to.
What?
Is when we applied for and we got the grant for the town hall.
We had to put it as a
Then we put
separate
it
for
on
the money.
November.
Mhm.
It was a special, we did the warrant article to accept it. So that's what you're referring to.
so how, but to apply for a grant, don't we need this language? Or can we apply for a grant? Can the town manager apply for a grant without this language?
Well, before it was the select board, we applied, but I see the point you're making. I think overall, maybe we just
We can check this with Ben
Check
again.
with-
He was the one that recommended that we
check
have it
with
on the
legal
warrant.
to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I would think you would be putting the town in jeopardy if in fact we can no longer apply for any federal grants
Or
without
any
first
grants.
proceeding with a warrant.
right. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. We'll check with legal and the manuals.
All right, so we won't actually make a motion to recommend that until we are 100% on that. It's something we can do next week. All right. Should make someone in the room very happy. Article 22, 23, and 24. Let's go through 22. Shall the ordinance entitled 2026 Amendments to the Zoning Ordinance of the Town of Hollis, Maine be enacted? The proposed ordinance and amendments are available for review and inspection at the town clerk's office and will be available at the polls. We've certainly gone through this. I think we've had several working sessions with the planning board. We've talked about this with the town lawyer, gone through a working session with the town lawyer on the amendments. I think from this particular select person's vantage point, I'm very, very comfortable with it. But I will open it up to comments or questions or anything like that for Article 22. Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to recommend Article 22.
So moved.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is that everyone aye? Yep. Okay. Article 23, shall an ordinance entitled 2026 Amendments to the Town of Hollis Planning Board Ordinance be enacted? The proposed ordinances and amendments are available for review and inspection in the town clerk's office and will be available at the polls. Any comments or questions from the public? Any from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to recommend Article 23.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And last but not least, Article 24, shall the ordinance entitled 2026 Amendments to the Use Table within the zoning ordinance of the Town of Hollis, Maine be enacted? The proposed amendments are available for review and inspection at the town clerk's office and will be available at the polls. Any comment from the public? Any comment from the board? Chair will entertain a motion to recommend Article 24.
So moved.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, for that. Thanks for bearing with me, too. That was my first time, so. Hi, Martha.
While you're turning pages, I'll just say a quick thank you to you guys and the Finance Committee and Dick, because I think some of the budgets actually went down, and that, we don't usually see that. So I really appreciate the work that went into that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Because
thank you.
he met with each individual department, and that's something we don't usually see, so.
Absolutely. Let's give credit where credit's due. Also, like just to kind of point out some of the numbers, I believe the total budget increase was somewhere in the 8.9 or something around there, 9%
That's correct.
range. And if you think about this year and all the things that have been happening financially, that's a pretty big achievement, actually, in my opinion. So thank you for that. All right, moving on to item C in the new business is policy 10. It's a fee schedule update to the code enforcement fees. Okay. So,
Oh, you skipped town manager up.
oh, did we? Sorry about that.
He's been waiting for that.
Sorry, town manager. Let's skip back to town manager updates.
Just like home. Just like home.
Sorry.
I just have a couple of things. I know it's getting late. I will say, the salt shed door has been fixed. It closes now, and there are signs that say no trespassing. We had a couple of visitors who decided to walk away with some things. Hopefully that will cut things back. Yes, salt. Traffic on 35 is driving me crazy. It's fast. It's out of control. I am begging the public to please watch yourself. Kids crossing this road, cross from the elementary school every day, twice a day. And as I have said to everyone, when they get out of school, they're not looking to take a nap. They're a little bit wild and crazy, and it's like trying to herd cats across the street. Please be careful. Rob, our road commissioner, says he's starting to do some spring grading and the dirt roads and replacing gravel where need be. I want to thank everyone in the town for their feedback. I would come in after a snowstorm and my phone is blinking like a son of a gun with messages. Most importantly, though, I want to thank everybody for their patience as the season was a tough one. I think we counted 37 weather events, had plenty of cold, a lot of ice, and a lot of challenges. I want to thank Mary for her help in putting together a lot of these missing pieces that we still have a few left over with, but she's jumped in and did a lot of help for me. The phone rings beyond my wildest expectations, so it's not always easy to stay on task. And then finally, I was not aware that we were purchasing water to sustain drinking water in the building. I saw that we have had this building, this room has been rented out, has been used by others, and I frankly thought that was a product of the folks that were here. So I want to thank Poland Springs today. They gave us a very generous donation of 10 cases of water for our duration until we get the wells fixed. And I really appreciate all that they do and the other things, of course, as well. That's all I have.
And the only thing I would add is that for people, I'm just as guilty as anybody, that the speed limit on the town hall grounds is 10 miles per hour.
Correct.
I feel like I'm crawling and should just get out and push my car, but so please try to do 10 miles an hour, especially when the kids are out of school and on the town property, because they don't watch where they're going.
Thank you, Town Manager. All right. Policy 10, fee schedule, update to code enforcement fees. Is there anything to discuss here?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe
Code
have
enforcement officer, do you want to talk about some fees? Any changes? I can give you the.
Do you need one?
Yes, please.
I'll share with Roger. You're welcome.
I don't remember off the top of my head. Tammy and I was going over some of these. And do you remember, Mary, which ones?
I think the biggest one was, didn't you do a shoreland
Tree?
tree?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because in the past, I've had a lot of arborists, when they do come and ask about cutting trees, you know, along the river or Deer Pond, any 10-acre ponds, which is the only one we have is Deer Pond. But we didn't have anything in place for a form. So we checked around with other towns, and we came up with this $50 fee, which the arborist will fill out for the homeowner. And I get called out to look at these trees, but usually an arborist has already been there or meets me there and says, you know, this is a problem tree, this is a problem tree, and I look at them and agree or disagree. So that was one of the changes that we did.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head where the other one was. Do you, Mary?
No.
I don't.
Do the solar farms go down? Because it's saying it's 25 cents a square foot, not 50, what those guys came in and talked about.
It shouldn't have, Dan. We didn't agree on anything yet, so.
Well, it says commercial solar farms up to
Yep.
9,999 kilowatts, 50 cents. 10,000 kilowatts or more, 25 cents a foot.
Yeah, that.
And I assume that what they're doing is over 10,000
Yeah,
kilowatts.
that has been that way, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, what they're doing is over.
So my question is, we got a gentleman that came in earlier, and if we vote on this, where does it say that we can negotiate the price?
It doesn't.
It says the fee is the fee, and that's
Right.
it.
So how did Poland Spring get
I have no
negotiated?
idea. It wasn't here.
We'll have to do some research on that maybe, but, you know. And then maybe we'll have to come back to my favorite policy, number 10, and send it out to everybody to look at so we can update it. And, you know, but for right now, I think he wanted the update so he can charge for the permit
Yeah.
for the arborist.
Did he say
Oh,
that
that-
Standish was the negotiated? Is that the town
Well, I
that he
looked
said?
at some of
He
those
said Standish
numbers,
was the
and I'm
closest
going,
one to us in
Oh, he
price.
didn't say that they negotiated. He says
No.
they negotiated. Is that something that you could reach out to the Standish town manager and kind of get the gist of what the circumstances were for that? And we can just have that type of ammunition, not ammunition, but, some good feedback, good data to make
Because
that.
it sets a precedent, like Dick says, you do it for one, you gotta do it for all,
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Phil Fenimore, Bean Street. To me, it makes sense that we might do some negotiating with an organization like Poland Spring because of the incentives of the TIF count and all these things that they've provided. But my big question would be, what are the incentives that solar farm is going to provide for us that would make us maybe more inclined to make those types of concessions in our policies, right? Like I just think that's something to consider as you guys collect your data. I think everything you've said to help determine that is a fantastic idea. But I think it's that was my big question based on what he said earlier.
Yeah. We definitely want to strike a balance between incentivizing businesses to come here, right? But, also sticking to our guns and other things, So I think it's worth a further conversation. I think that's what we've all decided to do. And I'm looking forward to hearing the circumstances of Standish and why they did that and what it is, personally.
well, I'm just, if we're going to set a rate, that's the rate. That's my opinion.
Well, then he also gave us the application fees subsection that says that you have to not exceed a reasonable cost of processing, review, regulation, and supervision of the application, and its consultants and administration of any requirement. So that's, I think, his argument, but I think we need to look into it a little bit more.
Yeah, the onus definitely falls on them to prove that it's not reasonable, though.
Right.
It's
Right,
not
I
on
agree,
us
Tom.
to defend
Yeah.
whether the rate that everybody else has paid forever,
Right.
since it's existed, that's the same 50 cents a square foot that we had when the ordinance was, I think it was 2016, I might be wrong, but I think it was 2016 was when it was originally set. So we haven't even gone up on that, I don't believe. So it just seems odd, and you guys are spot on that we would give someone an exception, especially one certain business that does nothing but cost taxpayers more money, unless they're part of the group, and not give any other business, especially
Right.
locally owned small businesses, a cut. So you guys are on track.
Noted.
I support you. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, are we good on policy 10?
Yeah, I think we need to,
Motion, yeah.
Motion.
Do you want to make that motion, Mary?
sure, I make a motion to approve the update to the code enforcement fees that were presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
I,
Sorry.
That's okay.
Just want to move it along.
No problem. I'm
We have
fine
no
with
appointments.
it. No appointments. You can't not do this.
Me?
No. That's Roger's thing.
He just knows I goof up numbers. I mean,
Payrolls and warrants. Payroll last week was 38,607. Payroll this week, 38,629. Warrant last week was 81,711. Warrant this week, 84,174. There's no POs.
I think we should investigate the $22 increase.
Dan, you want to do correspondence and announcements?
sure. Clay Gleason and Don Pooler from MS 86 will be presenting the school budget for 2027 at our next board meeting, Wednesday, April 15th, 6 p.m. Hope you can join us. Deadlines for all nomination papers are Tuesday, April 9th, 2026 at 4 p.m. No faxes or emails are accepted. The Hollis Annual Town Meeting will be held Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. Absentee Ballot applications are available by calling 929-8552, extension 27, or come to the town clerk's office here at the Hollis Town Hall. Absentee ballots will be available 30 days before the election. There is still a vacancy on the planning board. Contact Bennett Flinner if you are interested at 929-8552, extension 26.
Thank you very much. Any other business for this board?
Yes. In regards to the pond project for the fountain, I reached out to Great Falls, Earthworks, JK Contracting, RMDL, to put a package together, one complete package to get that done for lighting, you know, and poles, casting and all that stuff. I also awaiting a return call, and I want to know when this flagpole is going to be fixed. So I will call again tomorrow. I'll call maybe 3 times tomorrow. I don't know. But it needs to get fixed.
And the other question I have for the town manager is what's going on with the windows? Because last I heard it was held up because we didn't have funding.
I have the proposals. I don't know where we're going to pay for them. Where's the money? That's all I need to know, and I can pass that on to the treasurer, and we'll move forward.
Show me the money.
Because we had originally.
Show me the money.
We had
That
originally
was-
approved the money last
Yeah.
June by taking some out of the $200,000.
Correct.
And according to the treasurer, that has to be done by the auditor. She doesn't know how to move that money.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you. And then just to remind people that we are going to be having a ribbon cutting ceremony, opening, whatever you want to call it, on April 18th from 10 to 2. We're going to have some dignitaries here, or whatever you call them, and we'll be having some presentations at that time. So that's a Saturday. Anybody else want to say anything?
Come see the new town hall.
18th. 18th, 10 to 2.
Okay. The one other thing I want to just kind of put out there is I think we had a really successful candidate night last year, and we have not settled on an exact date for that, but it's probably going to be early May. Don has agreed to moderate it again, which was a masterstroke, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the Grange was the sponsor or something to that effect last time, and hopefully they can do the same. I didn't ask them before this meeting, but candidate night. You know, again, I don't know the exact date because we just need to make sure corresponding schedules with Don and make sure he's here. I was looking at the end of April, but he's not going to be around. So, probably first week of April. First full week of April. Sorry, May. Sorry, thank you. It's been a long night.
I'd like to ask Dwayne a question. How come you didn't try out a baby blue Prius?
I know it's late. I got a couple items of
Sure.
other business. I had a resident approach me a couple weeks ago, actually, about if I would ask the board if they would entertain renaming the Hollis Sports Complex to.
I had that same thing.
To what?
About renaming the Hollis Sports Complex, how it's a pretty plain name, and they felt it should be spiced up a little bit by adding someone who was kind of instrumental in making it happen and has been a big part of this town's recreational program over the last 30 at least years, I want to say. And that name is the pros name that she gave me, float around, the Debbie J. Teft Hollis Sports Complex. It keeps Hollis Sports Complex.
I have that letter, Dan.
And adds it. She was talking about she's been saving up and wants to buy a sign for it. Not Debbie,
The person that's.
the person who brought
Okay.
that up to me. So we can get more details on that sign later, but I just wanted to get the board's feel on that. And, you know, if we want to have another meeting and discuss it in more detail, I know it's getting late.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Hang on.
So there was part of the sports complex that was dedicated to Mr. Porter.
Correct, that was the Porter Field. That's
Just the field.
baseball field.
Okay, okay.
The whole complex we're talking about, I think it's, would it be Debbie J. Taft?
Yep,
Sports
Debbie J. Taft Hall Sports Complex is
I'll
what
make
I.
that motion.
Yep. Second?
Second.
Third?
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Done deal.
So now who's going to do the write-up?
I have part of it.
I think
Okay.
I can get that citizen to do the write-up.
Okay,
I
thanks.
got the letter, Dan.
Thanks,
I
Dan.
can
All right,
show it
one
to
more
you.
quickie. On
It's always a
the
quick-
Hollis Community Communication Facebook page, someone was asking about, does Hollis have a community garden? And I responded back, yes, we do have one. It's on Plains Road by the Sauk River TV station. It's just been sitting there idle for a good decade. Alex Bradbury, I'm going to name his name because he told me I could, said that can be my baby, and he is interested in anyone else who wants to help him out with that or wants to rent a plot. He's got a tractor and he can get it rototilled and he can kind of show people the ropes on that. Something I could help out too. I got a good, I've done drip irrigation and I can help out on that. And Alex said he's got his own gardens and is good with that stuff. If anyone, I know that there's a protected account for that too, that we have a little bit of money in, not too much. But if anyone wants to rent a plot with that, get in contact with Alex and we'll try to get something going this year.
Cool.
When you
Great
say
idea.
community garden, what are you planting?
Food,
Food, oh, so it's a food plot. Okay.
not a community pot garden.
Well, we could plant.
We'd
you know.
probably make more money.
Yeah.
But no, it was, you know, if people would like to, you know, they don't have a good spot in their yard or don't want to make the investment to build a garden. I was in it when it was, there was 2 or 3 good years of it. I actually lived out of town, but I drove past there every day and I would stop by and kind of, you know, go
Tend
weed
the
my little
fields.
section and hope the deer didn't eat too much. But there was a,
Yeah, how do they protect that over there from the deer?
there was a, we eventually got an electric fence solar charger.
I saw someone on Facebook question about the water supply. You talked about drip irrigation. Are you thinking like rainwater, or are you thinking pool and spring?
Well, back when we did it then, Pat from Sauk River TV, he rented a spot too, and we had a long hose we'd pull across the road and fill it up from them.
That works. Okay.
But
Great
it
idea.
definitely has some challenges. Water and, you know, you got to keep up with weeding and stuff like that. But I thought it would be there has been a couple different people asking about it. And, you know, there's one in Waterboro that seems to be pretty active. And I think it just needs someone to kind of take it by the reins and say,
I think
"We're
somebody
gonna
had
open it up."
started it or was working on it a couple years ago, and I don't think they
Yeah.
got very far, so they sort of gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great idea.
Love it. I have one more thing. It's another just like preview. I don't have a date for anybody right now, but I gotta again say the town manager has really brought this town's financial, I guess, financial areas to a next level, and I think we need to continue on that. So we've been talking about with the finance committee. Actually creating something in May, an event called the Hollis Financial Summit. In May sometime, we haven't decided on the date, but that's going to look like a dual board meeting, select board, finance committee, the assessor, sorry, not assessor. Yeah, assessor, and then an auditor, that's it,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
So.
treasurer, anyone that has to deal with financial side of Hollis and try to get, keep this progress moving and get a little bit more modern in the way that we look at it. So, and that's in terms of systems, in terms of the way that we, all the processes that we have. Anything to add there, or?
I would only tell you that I have emailed 3 times, and our server apparently is on vacation because none of the emails have left this building. We'll keep trying. I want to talk to Ron. I know he has tax year, tax time, and audit time, so scheduling is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but he had indicated to me when I met with him that he would be willing to do so.
And just so people know, we've been having problems not only sending emails, but also receiving mail. So if you've sent us an email and we haven't responded, please give us a phone call until we figure out what's going on with our server or whatever.
So again, Hollis Financial Summit, date to be determined sometime in May. Be there, be square. That's general public, open to the public, of course.
Then the other thing we need to do is set up a meeting for next week.
Oh, yes, that's right.
We'll have to announce it, get it on tonight, and
Announce it tonight to make the 7 days.
yep.
Is the planning board?
It's a special, we'll have to find a place to meet, but we gotta have a.
Yeah, if we're gonna do it on Wednesday, because the planning board's gonna be here, right?
At 7, right?
Do you think we could get it done if we did like a 5:30
Either that
meeting?
or you move it to Thursday.
How do you feel about like a 5:30 meeting, and an hour and a half should be more than enough to do all of it?
To do the warrant.
What do you think? Instead of moving it to a Thursday?
Dan?
Either evening is open for me.
Jack?
5:30?
5:30? Just to give us a little wiggle room on that.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Roger?
Okay.
On which day?
Wednesday, next Wednesday,
Wednesday,
which
okay.
is the 6th. No, it's not, sorry. 8th.
8th.
Okay. We good? Upcoming town committee board meetings, so planning board meeting on Wednesday, April 8th at 7 PM. I should say, we just announced a select board meeting at 5:30 on April 8th at 5:30 PM. Select board meeting, the select board meeting again will be on April 15th at 6 PM. And again, that's going to be in, the beginning of that's going to be the Clay Gleason school budget presentation, be there. Conservation Committee meeting on Tuesday, April 16th at 3:30, closed meeting. It's not open to the public. Planning Board meeting on Wednesday, April 22nd at 7 PM. We will open it up for public comment if there's any. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with us tonight.
So anybody from the public?
Yeah, online too. We have our. Yeah, okay. Even Ram phone? What is Ram phone? Oh, your Ram phone? Okay.
So just one comment, the sound is much, much better. So thank you, whoever fixed it, that I believe Mike
Mike, those
and
two over there.
Mr. Ponzetti
Jim, Joe,
and
Jim.
Jim
J&J.
and everybody. It's much, much better. The sound is better. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Yep, we gotta do a little modification. Shouldn't be too costly, but we do need to do some modification of where the speakers are. In essence, these speakers right here are making it so much better. And pretty much those speakers that are way over there, you can't see them if you're watching the Zoom, need to be moved here. So it's going to probably be the long-term solution. The short-term solution is going to be these guys, or potentially something that we purchase. Any other public comment? Jack, you want to do your thing?
Yeah. At this time, make a motion that we adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Second.
Second, third, fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for joining us.